Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel it to each. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's gonna clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's gonna open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is gonna protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is gonna make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Teej has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night.
And because Teej is sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description to get 30% off your first skincare system and a free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll also get 20% off for life. By the way, both gifts you're choosing from are a $20 value and a complete game changer. A silicone body scrubber or a nail and face grooming kit. Personally, I prefer the silicone body scrubber. I don't like using towels when I travel, so the body scrubber is an excellent way to open up the pores and get the body clean. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
Woman to a married woman, sometimes we make mistakes and we don't make our husbands feel safe. And sometimes before we look and say it's our husband's fault, why are you not available? Where did I not make you feel safe? So that way you can show some emotional availability to me. So that way you can express your weaknesses. You can express your vulnerabilities. Start pointing the finger at yourself so you can actually start being the togetherness and the partnership that you're supposed to be.
I got to ask this question, but do you feel safe? See, that's the thing.
No, because then let me say that, Ace.
No,
it is very easy, and I'm saying this because I have been in this place where I didn't feel safe. But we are talking about in a marriage. And sometimes we don't feel safe because we did not compromise and we were not flexible enough to create the safety in the communion, in our togetherness. And sometimes we sit here and say, I don't feel safe because it's easier for me to focus on me. That's what I mean. When we're always focused on ourselves, that marriage is never going to work, because sometimes it is us. I want safety, but in this whole entirety or somewhere in the marriage, I didn't create safety for you. She probably doesn't feel safe because both of them dropped the ball somewhere. So now they need to sit down together and figure out where do we make a mistake? Where do we drop the ball at? Where can we both create safety? Not just me, because this is a together, this is a union, this is a marriage.
Let's go and get a crack in creating safety relationships. I'm going to start with you first, Luis. Like, you taking notes already, huh?
Yeah, I already got the pad and all. You know, it's interesting what she said, you know, creating a safe space. Look, I think you have to hold a space, you know, for each other, you know, and I think you also have to build in somewhere in your relationship where you check in with one another. I've mentioned this in the past. Like, you have to check in with your partner and make sure that, you know, that you're adhering to the things that you said that you're going to do in the relationship, that you're adhering to those principles. And if you're dropping the ball, you're falling short, there's an opportunity to have that conversation and say, like, you know, like, I feel like I'm letting you down, or I feel like I'm letting myself down, and here are my reasons why. you know what I'm saying, and be able to be vulnerable enough to have that conversation with your person. It's not going to be pretty at first. I know everybody sells it like it's just a straightforward process, but letting someone down or disappointing your person, when you are meant to keep your word or be consistent in whatever capacity that you agreed upon, it could feel like a hit to the gut, right? And I think that you have to create moments to check in with one another. Life is busy, work is busy, the kids are, take up a lot of your time. There's all these other things that happen outside the house. So being to have a space and time for you both to sit down and really talk about things that are not working and the things that are working well, because I think there's always an opportunity to give flowers and have that praise report. But when she talks about safe space, she talks about letting that person be vulnerable to have that conversation. And if you feel that you're both at a crossroad where you can't do that for each other, or there's something holding you back, I think there needs to be perhaps a third party intervention that allows you to bridge that gap in between you both to ensure that the marriage or the relationship is still heading straight course for where you guys want it to be. I yield.
All right. Go ahead, Mila. What are your thoughts about it, man?
I would agree with what was just said. I feel like, especially women, right? We do not create safe spaces for men a lot of the time. Uh, I don't know what that is. I think sometimes we, as women, sometimes forget that we want a safe space, and sometimes I think we forget to create that safe space. And I think naturally, as women, as feminine energy, we are the nurturers. We are the ones that kind of are supposed to give that energy into the dynamic so that both parties can like feel like it's a safe space to express whatever it is that you need to express. And I think sometimes this stuff is overlooked in our beginning stages of a relationship, and we kind of let it go on because I don't know how we get it married and we don't feel safe. That seems a little wild to me. But I think that sometimes that in those dynamics, both parties have to sit back and say, where did I fuck up? Because 90% of the time, both people have dropped the ball somewhere, whether it was the man or the woman, whoever. And I honestly believe sometimes therapy can help. I know in one of my past relationships, we went to therapy because we didn't feel that it was a safe space. Now, I do feel if you're going to go the therapy route, both people have to be invested in fixing that dynamic, because if one person is not, then it's not going to go nowhere. And I think both people have to be cognizant of like creating a safe space and making people feel like, you can be really open and honest about those feelings. And I think sometimes, unfortunately, women, we kind of don't create that space because we bash, we talk shit, we bring it up with our homegirls, we whoopty whoopty wop wop wop. You know what I'm saying? Where sometimes men cannot create, don't feel safe, and then inadvertently, then they don't make it a safe space, and now we got a whole non-safe space, and now the kids ain't safe and nobody's safe. So I just think that as you're going into a relationship, right? I think you just have to be cognizant of like how you want to feel and how you need to express and how others need to be. But I think a lot of this can sometimes stem from just having the lack of self-awareness. And I think people get into relationships not knowing what they need, and so then you can't articulate it, because if you're not a good communicator, if you're not a good expresser, if you're not aware of your needs yourself, how can you expect someone to know that if you can't express it and be able to say like, hey, this is what I need? You know what I'm saying? And when people are not giving you that, setting those boundaries, and then like being like, you're not meeting my needs, and like not moving forward in the dynamic. But people are not getting their needs met, and then they're moving forward, and now it's like it's a shit show. So I would just think like being more open and honest, and like having that self-awareness to be able to identify the things that you may be a little bit more sensitive with, or the areas where you need to be able to express, or even like having like those little check-ins, or even like code words, because I've seen people like they'll have like a word or like a phrase to let people know like, oh, this is safe space time, or this is time I need to get something off my chest, or I need to do whatever. And I find that when I talk to couples who've done that, it kind of works for them. So I just feel like, finding what works for you and your partner, and it should be okay if both people are aligned with making sure each other are feeling seen and heard in a relationship.
Brother Hink, what does emotional safety look like for you in a relationship?
Well, emotional safety. Looking at that clip, man, there's a lot of problems with that clip to me. But what does emotional safety look like to me? Well, to me, it's feel like where somebody can be, able to let themselves go, unwind, um, where they are going through some stuff at work, or maybe some stuff they're dealing with at home that they feel like they need to talk about. They may feel a little shy, a little scared, and nervous to talk about, but yet they're willing to talk about it if you put them in the right position or the right situation. Uh, but JR, can I speak on that video though?
Oh yeah,
If you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
mind.
You can. I just was asking that just to get a little bit more context as far as like what do men look for when it comes to emotional support.
I got you. So another thing a man looks for in emotional support, man, is a woman who allows him to be vulnerable. We know it's not common. I think what's that? Malik Sophie Fade?
It's
Am I
Mila.
pronouncing it wrong?
Mila.
Okay.
Mila.
I can pronounce that. Mila said a lot of times the ladies don't allow their significant other, their man, or their husbands to be vulnerable for whatever reasons, and that's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. But as far as that video, we came up during a time, or we raised our kids during a time, where we used to tell your kids as parents, use your words. And we'll tell our kids to use your words, but you are not willing to use that same sentiments about yourself and use your words. And all of a sudden you're scared, you're nervous, you can't have the conversation. And one of the things is this woman's able to go into a public forum to get herself possibly put on social media, which she did, and express what's going on. But I bet you she wouldn't do that same thing in a room one-on-one with her man. That makes no sense to me. That you were willing to put your shit out in the streets, but you wouldn't willing to sit down with your man for an hour and have this same conversation and work this shit out. That don't make sense. I think it's foolish. I think it's crazy. And if that was my woman, I would have plenty of conversation for when she got home once I found out about this bullshit. First, I don't believe in putting our business out there like that. It's not for the masses. Then they don't know the workings of what's going on in our home. They don't know what I have to do with your crazy ass. But you tell your side of the story. But my side of the story not getting told. So now it's making me look like I'm in a bad, like I'm all at fault at the situation. No, that's not good. So if you are able to have that conversation with all these people in this room, you need to be able to have that conversation with that one person in the room. That's more important than anybody in that building, in that space, or on that stage. That should have never happened. I'm landing, sir.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Luis. You want to respond?
I have a question. That was actually pretty good, Hank, because I actually wanted to tie that into my question. So, ladies, what is it about when you link up with either one of your sisters, close friends, or another homegirl that you sit down and you feel so comfortable and vulnerable to talk about your relationship so openly and articulately to someone either close to you or a complete stranger, and you don't have that same capacity or that same reserve sentiment for the person that you're in a relationship? What is it about you having that conversation with a member of the same sex as you than you sitting down having that conversation with someone that you either love, respect, and care about.
I don't have that issue, but I can tell you my theory.
Yeah, go ahead. Or any of the other sisters, please go ahead.
Well, if you have sisters, it's something different with a sister bond. And I can go into spirituality and how we're all connected and all that good stuff. But basically, I know I'm more comfortable talking to my sisters about certain things because they are parts of me. And it's almost like having a conversation with myself. We were raised by the same parents. We think the same way. And they're going to give me an honest answer about me that I might not be able to come up with on my own. Now, as far as why people can't communicate that to a partner that they claim that they love, that's on them. I don't have that problem. So I don't know.
Go ahead, Mia. Or Mila,
Y'all really
sorry,
can't
my
get my
apologies.
name right, huh? It's
My
Mila,
apologies.
y'all. No, I'm just playing. It's okay. What I was finna say, shit, I don't forgot. Oh, I don't necessarily have a problem. I'm a very vocal person, right? But I think that why women find it easier to talk to their best friends or family or whatever, I think is, it may stem back from safety, right? I guess you feel a little bit more understood because your family or your friends are people that you support, friends, people that you chose to be in your life. So you kind of naturally connected to them. They understand you. You already been vulnerable.
No, I'm not dating for fun. I'm dating.
You probably done experienced some real life shit with them. And so sometimes I can speak for me, if I reach out to a friend first about a dating situation, it's because I'm trying to get a perspective that I'm not seeing, right? It's usually because it's like, it may be I'm doing something wrong or there's an issue that's a me thing that I'm not seeing. And so I'm just trying to get something from a person who's known me longer, has seen me in different situations, who can maybe give me some real feedback onto like how to communicate this with my man or how to express this or what would be the best way to get my point across to my so-called man. I think sometimes that could be helpful, but then sometimes that could be detrimental depending on who your friends are and who your family are. But that's just from our perspective. I don't feel like I personally have that issue, but I will say that sometimes, especially in this dating culture now, it could be a little bit cringy to tell your person certain things because they don't, it just ain't, it just, if it, you can't express things. People be like, express, say how you feel, but it's not that easy. You say something, people talking about you, you and your feelings, you tripping, you this, you that, da, da, da. So when you're constantly being told, and sometimes that could stem from like childhood trauma, where you're constantly like having your feelings invalidated, your emotions invalidated, or like not feeling like you're being heard, especially from your partner, whether it's a male or a female, it kind of just makes you go to that person that you know that's going to listen, who's going to reassure you, who's going to validate you. And I think that's probably why it's a little bit difficult, but I think that that's something that should be figured out in the beginning of the dynamics. And that's where I would say therapy can come in to help if that is like an issue. But usually I just think that's like sometimes a trauma response for a lot of people, not just ladies, because I don't think men be talking to their girls about problems either. So I think that's a trauma thing.
Yeah, Shin,
Man,
I know you wanted to respond.
DJ So I've never been married before. So all I can do is tell you when you're dating, even if you're in a committed relationship. I can't even, but I will hope that this is not true when it comes to marriage, prayerfully. But I know that especially when you're dating somebody, even if it's long term, your emotions are involved. When you're talking to your friends, yes, your emotions are involved, but you're not talking to the person your emotions are involved with, right? So you stumble, you may not articulate it right, all of those things. That's just women. We're emotional creatures. Some of us are. Two, you don't want to say anything that's going to mess up the whole dynamic, right? You don't want to be judged by what you say. Maybe it doesn't come out right. Then it causes the whole argument for no reason. And you're just like, am I tripping? So you rather bounce it off of a friend first and then bring it back to your mate. If you can have an honest conversation with your mate and it's a no judgment zone, that's the perfect relationship. But most of us are not in perfect relationships, okay? So you tiptoe because maybe it happened once and then something bad happened. So it's like bad reinforcement, like it's not a positive thing. So you're like, okay, now I don't feel comfortable even coming to you anymore about it. I'd rather go talk to a friend, get it right, and then come back with the diluted version. You know what I'm saying? When I should just be comfortable coming to talk to you, but we do it to ourselves. He doesn't feel comfortable talking to you, the female, because you've done something to make him not feel safe in coming to talk to you, and vice versa. So if it's happened and there was a bad outcome, they're probably gonna not do it again because they're thinking about what happened the last time I did that. It didn't go over well. And let's just be honest, everybody's replaceable, even in marriages these days. It ain't like it used to be back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Homeboy got a side chick, you like, damn, he gonna run to the side chick. It's just so much going on.
Well,
So do y'all hear what y'all saying, man? Do y'all really hear what y'all? So again, y'all
Stop
okay?
saying
You
y'all.
wanted honesty, and we're giving you honesty.
Okay, you said it too,
I
because
mean,
you said
maybe-
you're able to talk to your sister, right? That's part of it, right?
What'd
And
you
then what
say?
you said you was able to talk to your sisters, right?
I said I'm able to talk
About
to anybody, but he asked me specifically about women. But I'm able to talk to my partner as well.
Me
no,
too.
I'm
no,
going in first.
listen to what I'm about to say. Y'all are able to talk to your circle, whatever it is, family, friends, whatever, about the significant other of yours, right? That's what I heard. So, and then y'all even said, well, I run it by her or him or whoever it is to soften the blow or to try to perfect it or to give him the watered down version. That's not good. Let me help y'all with this. Let me help y'all with this. Men can handle the truth if you be honest with them. We may not like it. It may go tough on us that day, but we can deal with it. We'll bounce back real fast. I promise you, ladies, we will. But when y'all
That's
sit there
fucking
and talk
cat.
about, okay, so when y'all sit there and talk about these situations with everybody else other than the man that you're willing to have sex with, that you're willing to lay with, that you're willing to break bread with, that you will probably more than likely trust with your life if something was to pop off, but you're not afraid to have a conversation with this man because you're worried about, oh, I'm afraid of messing up the dynamic or hurting his feelings. No, that's not good. The worst thing you could do is find out that you talk to your sister or your friends or your neighbor about this shit instead of coming to him. Now he's going to question the relationship. Who are you in a relationship with? Me or them? Who do you confide and trust in? Me or them? That's a problem.
I have a question. So, Hink, if you feel that, how as a woman, right? Let's say if you was in a situation like Shamon, and you tried to express to your man, and it just went terrible. How, as now that I've had that bad experience, what would be your suggestions on bringing something to him, straight to him, not talking to nobody else at all, going straight to him? Like, how would you recommend that she do that if she's feel like she's done it and it wasn't a safe space?
Well, if the situation went terrible, hopefully y'all got to a place where it got fixed and corrected or reconciled, because we wouldn't be having this conversation again if it didn't, right? So we was able to get past whatever terrible thing that happened prior. So that means there's a possibility we can have a conversation. It may not go the way we wanted to go at the time, and that happens when you get in arguments. They're not always going to go the way you have them planned out. You could, everybody got a plan till you get hit in the face, in the nose, is what Mike Tyson said. It's not going to go the way you think. You can mind it out, project it out, visualize it out. It's not going to go the way you think it's planned. So what you have to do is have that conversation, and if you need to, the last time we had this tough conversation, baby, it didn't go the way I had planned it. Hopefully we can handle it better in a more mature fashion. If we get to that point where it's becoming, I can't talk to you, you can't talk to me, maybe we need to table this conversation, go our separate spaces to cooler heads prevail, not go Stay the night with granny or mama or your sister's house. You go to one room, I go to my, maybe I need to take a drive to cool off, and we come back and have the conversation when we could talk to each other in a respectful manner. And then work it out from there. That would be my
Why this is
recommendation.
so?
Let me
Why
just
is this
add
so
something real.
extremist?
Let me just add something really fast. I have that. It's not just about man. It's me. I have that problem with anybody I have confrontation with. So if I have a confrontation with you, I'll go to somebody else because that's just has nothing to do with. So sometimes it's the individual. Like I know I had a confrontation back in the day with Mistaken. Remember that JR? JR had to step in as the person in the middle. So some people, like myself, are just not good at going to the person. We go.
But to kind of keep in mind too is that you got to hear all sides. So a lot of times people are not able to hear everything in its entirety, and so the advice that they're giving you, it could just be aiding whatever it is that you need, and not necessarily what the relationship needs. So um, I understand what Hink's saying is that you want to start within your house first because you're not going to always have those people. Sometimes people may not feel like being bothered. So can you resolve conflict within your own house? Have you guys attempted to or tried, or have you always just been going to go to that other person and never gave it a chance? So start inside the house first, and then it should be something that should be agreed upon as far as, okay, well, let's bring somebody else in and see if we can kind of work them in to get some clarity as far as what's going on. Go ahead, country.
I never got a chance to speak, but what I was gonna say was that everything should start in house. What you say to your circle. My circle is my sisters. What you and my daughter at this point because she's 20. What you should say to those people should be after you've already come to this person with the situation, and just have an ear, an unbiased ear. And like Shan Monet said, you just have to be very aware of who you're having those conversations with. But I feel like I was watching this monologue by Anthony Hopkins earlier, and I'm in a real Zen mood right now. So I'm gonna tell y'all, he said that love and being in a relationship is about not only the splendor and the bliss, but the acceptance that people go through shit just like you. And that when you're the same kind of things that you're fighting and emotions that you're fighting, so is that man, so is that woman. So it's about acceptance of that person and the love and the trust and figuring out what's really true. It was a little bit more detailed than that, but I think we overthinking this shit. If you have a problem with somebody or something that they're doing, address it. Address it. If it's not addressed, then you seek counseling together. If you want to get outside sources, like I don't even know what to do. Like how, you know what I mean? Like he not listening. We've had this talk twice. I don't see anything wrong with that because good people will suggest, well, maybe y'all should go to counseling. Hating bitches gonna be like, oh well, you need to leave that. So you need to be mindful of who you telling your business to. But you should always start with the guy or the female. Like I don't. That's just common sense, right? Or
It is common sense to the people that it makes sense to, but it's a lot of people that don't operate in that manner. So it'd be hard. You'd be hard pressed trying to explain to somebody how to communicate because most people in America, from what
It's a
I've seen,
learned skill.
don't know how to communicate. Yeah.
You got to learn how to communicate effectively. We don't get
Well,
taught.
they got to see that it's a problem. A lot of people don't see it,
Yeah.
and they're not trying to deal with it. Like they say, I don't got time for this.
They're
Go on about your business.
I'd rather ignore you.
Yeah, like they say, like you done. I'm about to get off the phone. You done?
Yeah. People, yeah.
Because they're trying to.
Self-awareness.
When things start getting challenging, that's when they start to run because they don't want to be able to process through it. Go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, I was gonna add this, and I want to kind of tie this all back to the video. Kind of talk about what we just finished, expressing and sharing. It seems like the women express that it is much easier, much more comfortable to talk to a family member or sister because there isn't that initial reaction, or you feel like you're not going to be judged, or you're trying to run something by them before you talk to your person, right? And I get and understand that.
I don't think that's what
However,
anybody said though. Who said that?
Shan
Oh,
Monet have brought that up.
oh,
But I
okay. He
also,
said
yeah,
the
but
women.
I also expressed what Mila also talked about as well. I might have not hit on your point, and it still stands valid. However, I'm just talking about just an array of different scenarios. So, um, with that being said, just kind of bringing that back to the light, to go back to the video, it seems like, okay, like the ladies have these different outlets or these other support or safety groups that they could go to and have these conversations. And however, sometimes the men don't necessarily have that, or if you're in a marriage group within a close proximity of other married individuals, the wife's friend, the wife tells the husband, which he later has a conversation with potentially that man, right? And sort of, he already might come with the preconceived notion of aligning himself with his wife, which is aligned with the husband's wife, right? And sort of, it becomes more of like, okay, no one sees it from the man's perspective, or nobody has gone to him to allow him space or that same sort of refuge that was presented to the woman, right? It seems like it's off balance. And I guess that, based on everybody's different perspectives that was shared, just trying to tie it all back to the video, I guess that the underlining pinning of the topic was that this is our examples or moments where the man is removed from the conversation and is later brought back in as the afterthought.
All right. Anybody else
Do I
want
need
to
to pull
speak
out
on it?
my violin? Like, I feel like that was a whole made up. Like, maybe I'm in a mood, but I don't feel like that's what happened at all. I mean, maybe in the video that's what happened, but on the panel that's not what happened. Nobody removed anybody. Like, I'm sure, you know what? Don't worry
But
about it. Maybe I'm
but
still
I'm not.
sleepy.
But Cookie. But I'm not talking about necessarily on the panel. I'm talking about. I'm juxtaposing everybody's submission on their perspective, and then I'm going back to the video of the topic and being, well, it seems to me, based on what everybody has shared, and me thinking about what the video in the topic has been and how she was expressing, the woman in the video expressing how there is an inability to create that same space for the man. I am saying that, I guess, based on what we had talked about, we had removed the man. You know what I'm saying? As it pertains to the video.
Okay. Shan, Ink, Mila.
Look, man, I
I
mean,
get it.
we just sit there and witnessed it up here just a second ago. What we was talking about, we just witnessed it. So, Cookie, you sit there and said nobody said it, but Shan just admitted that she's the one that said it. So it does happen. We can't sit there and say it doesn't happen just because you don't do it. Doesn't mean it don't happen.
I never
We
said
sit there
that, but he
watching on this video.
said the women on the panel. I'm not trying to turn into my boy Sweeney, but be specific. That's all I'm saying,
So hold on,
because
you
I
you want
know
us
me
you want
and
him, so
Mila.
Luis, next time what you need to do is call out the people's names, who you talking about.
No,
Every
but I'm
woman
just
besides
be like
Cookie,
some women on the
every woman,
panel. Like,
I got you. I'm gonna do it for him. Every woman besides Cookie has something to say about this,
no,
and
no.
every woman
Just
on
use
here
the word
besides Cookie
some. There's like
didn't do this.
some, a
Cookie didn't do
lot.
this. I got you, Cookie. Come on, man. Everybody else did it. Everybody else did it. Yet we sit there and watching this video. This shit happens. We'll sit there. Look, we'll sit there and go outside and watch the shit happen, and then talk about pick somebody biased. Your sisters are biased. They biased towards you. Your friend is biased. They're biased towards you. Your mother, your father, anybody else in your circle, they're going to be biased towards you. They're not going to be unbiased. They're your friends. They're your family. They're your kinfolk. They're not going to be unbiased. They're going to be biased to you because they have a relationship with you.
But what I'm saying is I'm calling bullshit on that. That's what y'all assume is males.
Can I finish, please? Can I finish, please, ma'am? Can I finish,
sure.
please? Thank you,
On
ma'am.
with the cap.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So unless you get a third party in there, like a counselor, something like that, yeah, they more likely they're gonna be unbiased. Everybody else is going to be, even your pastor, he may have more of a relationship with you than he does with me. He's gonna be biased. This would be expected.
Y'all just keep people around y'all that aren't biased and that will tell you about yourself. I can't relate to that. Y'all keep speaking on shit I don't relate to. So that's what I'm saying. I might, you know how many times I just told my sister, you wrong as hell. You're wrong. And they'll tell me, that's the kind of relationship I wouldn't everybody don't hang out with their sisters. Actually, I know a lot of sisters that can't stand each other. But what I'm trying to tell you is being automatically assumed because a woman is running to, or whatever y'all want to call it, getting outside, really it's just the tea of what's going on. That is automatically, girl, and that's not how all women operate. Some women do, but what I'm telling y'all is, in your head, you're making shit up, and you're automatically assuming that she's going to biased friends. This is going to pick her side, when in reality, a lot of educated, smart females know to keep neutral people around, or people that are going to be neutral, or going to tell them about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I do want to ask this question.
They're just stupid and just feed me lies.
I do want to ask this question. Does it make a difference if they're like married or not? So if the couple is married, then should that husband or wife not seek outside, like without permission?
I absolutely believe a married couple should not be discussing anything outside.
Okay.
I will say that. But if you're in a relationship and you build and there's somebody thinking about marrying, like I had a situation where I was like, this person doesn't communicate well. He doesn't. I've told him. And my sister told me, she was like, you got to be more patient. It might be just in his nature. She told me I was wrong. Period, point blank. So now I'm being more patient. So that's what I'm saying. I don't understand the whole, you run into people that's going to pacify you. I don't fucking do that. That's crazy.
Go ahead, Shan.
I do think that there's a difference. I think that if you are in a marriage, you guys should speak it over, and that way you guys can agree to go see a counselor if you guys feel like there needs to be another person involved. But outside of that, so first and foremost, I agree with Cookie. You have friends who you can go to who you know are going to tell you the truth. Those are the friends that I usually seek. I don't want a yes man. I want to know honestly so I can know how to approach, right? If I did something wrong, I want to start with an apology. I'm not afraid to apologize when I know I'm wrong, right? Just most of the time I don't think I'm wrong. But usually they'll tell me I'm wrong. Like JR told me I was wrong. And so we had like a little meeting, you know what I'm saying? But so you go to somebody who's unbiased. So I agree with Cookie on that. But as far as JR's question about the difference, yes. Because if I go to my dad, I'm asking about these male traits. I don't know much about men, right? And it's a part of the vetting. You're getting to know a person for possible marriage. I need to know the red flags. I'm not going to get that from a man who loves me, who can tell me who has my best interests at heart. So I do think that there's a total difference between you vetting to get to that point and you actually being like, we've already chosen each other. We're one. This is our life together. What do we do from, But again, it's important to seek people who have the entire unity's best interest at heart, not just yours, not his, but the entire unity, who want to see you guys progress and grow together, is going to be honest with you.
Okay.
So do we see the difference in how y'all ladies think compared to how the men think? Y'all see that?
Yeah, we're different.
We sit there. You're correct. So y'all saying they're saying family members are unbiased, friends are unbiased. How could people who I choose? We're talking about friends first, not family. We're talking about friends. How could people who I choose to circle myself around with be unbiased when I have a relationship with them? That's the bias automatic right then and there. My family, they got blood running through their veins. They carry my last name, but they unbiased. That's farther from a truth I've ever heard in my life. There's no way correctly. They're kinfolk. So how can they be completely unbiased? Because at the end of the day, they're going to think about, at the end of the day, that man ain't kin to me. He has no tie to me. Only way he's tied to me, because Shan dates him. If Shan didn't date him, that man would have nothing to do with it. I care less. But I care about Shan because she's my sister.
Let me ask you a question, Heath. Then what is vetting? Something y'all always preach we have to have our elders do vetting. What is that? Isn't that a part of vetting somebody? If you have a daughter and you're vetting this man, would you not want to know so you can make an informative decision when you're vetting this man for your daughter?
Well, let me help you out.
Answer her question though.
I think he's about to answer, but y'all got to.
So I understand why we have the differences. So I believe in my whole heart that y'all don't give a man a near space to talk shit. Don't say nothing. Y'all can't even give me an opportunity to get it out. Y'all are demonstrating what I'm talking about. Thank you for being the example that I need. So, Shan, to answer your question, ma'am, what he's vetting, that's different from what we're talking about. What we're talking about now is dealing with issues in the household, in the relationship. Vetting is something totally different. Vetting are a series of questions that you should be asking, inquiring about the person you are interested in. That's what vetting should be. Putting the situations out there for them people to see how they respond, see how they react, and see how they move from it. Not just with their words, but with their actions. That's the vetting part. What we're talking about now, our situation. If me and you was in a relationship and we had an argument about finances, and you go sit there and have a conversation with JR, your brother. Why are you talking to your brother about what's going on in our house that we're struggling?
Is this a marriage or just is this a marriage? Are you just saying? I just want to clarify.
Shan, I don't care what it is. It's a marriage or it's just a relationship.
It makes a difference.
It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm talking about me, man. To me, it doesn't matter because if I'm in a relationship with you, I'm looking to marry you, right? So I need to go and prep you now. I don't want to wait till you become my wife and you start changing and I'm talking to your goddamn brother. I need to start to train you, educate you, show you that's not what we're going to do. JI needs nothing to do with our relationship. Unless I'm putting my hands on you physically, I'm emotionally abusing you. He has nothing to do with our relationship. JI, I appreciate you offering up loan money, but we're fine. We're going to find a way how to make this thing work. No, allow us to handle it. Everybody don't need to be putting their hands in our stool. It ain't going to do but fuck our stew up. I don't want nobody fucking up my cooking. So he don't need to be putting his ingredients in my shit.
That's fair. I think that should just be a conversation. Everybody handles conflict different. Everybody
welcome to the dark side, man.
Everybody, I think it just needs to be a conversation. Like if a man tells me that he is the type of person who do not like for me to tell people or vent to other people, then hey, I'm gonna respect that. We need to get a counselor ASAP. If you need me to address things head on without getting no outside thoughts, nothing, that's totally fine. I can respect that. We gonna need a therapist then, because I know that I need to process stuff, and I can't process my thoughts with my partner. like, because I'm talking to my partner. So if you tell me after 2 months of dating that, oh, well, I don't like for nobody to know my business, this just between me and you, I don't talk to nobody. Cool, that's fine. That's your boundary, because that's your boundary. You telling me that's your boundary. Cool. Then we don't have to be in therapy in 2 months, because I need to process. And when you're dealing with situations, in situations, that's a part of vetting. I feel like when you're dealing with situations, you're having different life experiences with each other as y'all are in your dating process. That's a part of the vetting experience. So if we're having issues or whatever, then a therapist would need to be involved early on. But that may not be necessary. I think that's why people may go to their friend. And I think that if you're surrounded by highly intelligent people, that's the key. Highly intelligent, you can be a non-biased party. Because if you understand that we're all connected, me, you, her, him, them, thee, how, you, we're all technically connected. I can care about you. I can care about her. I can care about everybody. Because if you understand connectivity and the real actual law of the universe, you will understand I am you, you are me. So if I care about you, I care about me. If I care about her, I care about him. But that's a little bit too deep for some people. Some people don't operate on that frequency, and that's okay. You're not on that frequency. That's going to go above your head. But if people come to me, I just had a person come to me because I'm a non-biased person. Friends, families, everything. People come to me because I'm very non-biased. I will sit up here and tell somebody, you is dead ass wrong. You wrong. You could be my mama. She would come to me and I'm like, mama, you are wrong. You need to apologize. I don't care what he did, what he said, you're wrong. But my homeboys come to me, they be wrong. Women come to me, they be wrong. People, if you wrong, you wrong. And that's why people come to me, because they know, like 100%, everyone who knows me knows Mila is going to give you the most non-biased opinion. It's going to hurt your feelings. It's going to piss you off. It's going to make you say, fuck you. But at the end of the day, I'm going to listen to this person. I'm going to listen to that person. And I'm going to tell you, like, hey, you wrong. This a communication issue. You fucked up. You need to apologize. But once again, you got to have them type of people around. Everybody not like that. Them like 1%ers. Them is 1%er people. But like I said, if you're a highly intuitive person, you intelligent, you're going to at least have you one person like that in your life. One person. But I hope that you find that person. But I also feel like men, I remember somebody was saying men be overlooked. Y'all don't express. Y'all, oh, I'm good. I ain't got nothing to say. It's good over here. Da 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 da. So if you're not expressive, women, we expressive. You gonna see shit on our faces. You gonna hear what our attitude change, our mood change, whatever. So we're already letting you know that it's a problem. Men, y'all will hold shit in for months, years, and a motherfucker don't know. You want us to read y'all minds. Women, we gonna tell you when something wrong with something, our energy, something. Men, y'all be so low key with it. Well, I'm a man. I don't want to cry. I got it. It's all good. Dot. And then go complain about how women don't hear you, women don't listen, women tell everybody else their business, women don't come to us, No, a lot of men are not being expressive. Like, that's my biggest issue with men. Tell me what the fuck the problem is. Say what it is. Because that way I can make the conscious decision on if I can meet your needs. If you tell me you need a woman that don't talk to nobody else, who ready to be married in a year, who don't communicate with nobody else, who do X, Y, and Z, who you been heartbroken or you didn't feel like this was a safe place, and you tell me this stuff in our dating process, now as a woman, I can say, well, is this something that I can handle? I know that I handle conflict like this. He don't like for me to handle conflict like this. Long term, would this be an issue in our compatibility? Maybe so. Maybe I won't waste my time with him and he won't waste my time with me, because long term, if something major happens, he's going to get an attitude with me because I decided to go tell my best friend that I'm stressed out. These are the things that y'all need to communicate, right? Like, if you don't want no woman that talk to nobody else, say that in the day one. I don't like my business out there. I don't want nobody to know my financial issues. I don't want anything out there because everybody not like that. This is not everybody. And I think the issue is with dating is that we are making assumptions about everybody. Every man and every woman is different. And the problem is we are not communicating what we need and want in our dynamics. And then we're getting mad. All women this, all men that. No, focus on your partner. Was that woman wrong in the video? Yes, she should have brought that shit to her husband. But hey, how we don't know? She'd have been bringing this to her husband for 5 years and he ain't never did nothing. She at her wit's end and she don't want to get married, get a divorce. So she like, well, what can I do? Right? We don't know this. But I think the issue is that people not communicating and we're all different. So Pink, you may need a different type of woman that Louise may need. You know what I'm saying? Because we different. And I just think that's the underlying issue. It's all about communication. And in our generation, we're not communicating. And communicating is being able to say, I like to talk like this, and I don't. Okay, I'm done. Sorry, I was ranting because that shit was bothering me.
We know you do not lack in communication. You gonna tell them.
Yeah, I ain't got no life. I'm single, and I ain't got no life. I be waiting to talk because I ain't got no life.
No, I love the passion. You know, I love the expressiveness. I love the passion. With that being said, you know, obviously you're a particular type of woman, and I could tell that by your, you know, by your demeanor, the way you present, the way you articulate yourself. I'm just curious to know. I hear you, and it's well received. However, do you think that our culture at large is ready for a subset of men that are that communicative that what you're talking about? Do you think that if we flip the switch and we gave you exactly everything you wanted in terms of a man being that particular type of guy, do you really think that women today are able to handle and navigate that type of dynamic? Because I'm gonna speak for myself. I don't think that we are cultured in a particular type of way to receive people in the manner in which you're talking about. I think there's a subset of group who do that very well. I don't think collectively people at average do not know how to receive their partner in the capacity in which we're talking about, especially if they're fully transparent, open, honest, and vulnerable like that.
So my thing is this. This is the problem. We have taken family out of the equation. It used to be when you got married, you married a family, right? So if we were having marital issues, you would go talk to the fathers, her father or your father about the situation. You went to people who had strong marriages, and you were able to talk to them, and they were able to counsel you. You didn't have to go outside. You were able to keep it in the family, and they would counsel you because they had the family's best interest at heart, right? And women would talk to the women of the family, whether it be his mom or her mom. But the problem is today we're all individuals. We don't like nobody to help us. It ain't a village no more. It's just us. We got this. And that's where the issue comes in at. Because what if I'm wrong and you're wrong? We're just doing this wrong together. We're not looking at nobody who did it right. We just out here wronging it. I believe that if there's a problem and we don't know how to solve it, we should definitely go get help. But I guess the question is who you're getting help from. And I personally believe that if you have a strong family, your family should be your first line of, going to speak to the family. Because I was raised by a village, both my mom's side, my dad's side, and they're super close.
To me, it just
So
sounds
Shannon, you go ahead, Cookie. Go ahead, Cookie.
to me, it just sounds like, piggybacking off what Shan said, it sounds like I understand maybe even the friends, but to say that somebody's family, which is like Shan said, what was supposed to be the first go to when there's a situation happening in a marriage, because it just sounds like a lot of family trauma has changed the dynamic of communication and relationships. Like y'all don't feel like y'all can trust y'all's family. And that's, oh, sorry, that's tragic. And I can't relate still again. People like, oh, she act like whatever, but I can't relate to that. So what I'm gonna tell y'all is maybe try to either fix it or stop judging people that have access to non-biased people in their family and in their circle, or saying, oh, you're lying. No, we're not. Seriously, have people that I can call that will tell me that you are wrong, it's two left shoes. This is what you probably should be doing, or you're going to end up by yourself.
All right, y'all. We got to
I have
transition.
access to that.
We got to transition, you guys. You guys just tuning in. Welcome to Lapeef-ing Sunday. Let's make sure we hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the chat. I see you guys are very active in there. Mr. Walker, $10 says salute to the brother Hink and respect. Rest of the panel. Ikene says, Mila, if men talk so much as you, the world is going to be chaotic and messed up. You talk way too much. You can't even hear JR trying to stop you. Ikene again, $5 says, if a man tells you not to tell anyone about shit going on in the family, run and don't look back. Talk to someone in your family that will be honest. And I totally understand what Brother Hink is saying. I do understand what Hink is saying. It's very rare that you would find somebody that would be unbiased, that is close to you. Can it happen? Surely. The question I probably would ask is that, are they unbiased about every single thing, 100% of what you guys discussed? It may be certain things they may choose to be truthful to you about, but then other things they may waver in their opinion. I'm not saying it's out there, but you guys have to understand who you're talking to. So I'll leave that part up to you, but just be mindful that the person you can be talking to may not be telling you the truth. And that's all I think what Hink is saying. And I do understand that, One Country and Mila and them are saying that there are some people out there that would tell you the truth. Hopefully, whoever you're talking to, they just being honest with you. We don't know what's going on in everybody else's house, but in their world, but hopefully it's working in your favor and you get results from it. But moving on to our next topic, we're going to discuss this BBL. Got a little clip, man. It's a little bit lengthy, but I think it's interesting. I doubt a lot of you guys may have seen it, but what's going on, Country?
It was like we went from trust to BBL.
The BBL? Where'd that come from? Where'd they do that at?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad. I just thought it was funny. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Luis, you there? Want to make sure you don't miss it. You there? Okay, there you go. All right. Yeah, got to watch Luis, man. He be transporting from country to country. So, he got some high-tech technology over that they testing out from the government. So, yeah.
I've been tested plenty of time.
In front of the world.
I'm in front of the world, but it's so intimate that it's like, it's my unit. It's my unit.
Mm.
My unit. Ain't a full unit. I done been without, but I ain't never not have an incomplete unit.
Mm.
This is different. So now I look at a woman differently.
Wow.
I look at people who have units differently. I look at anybody that's forever. When it's forever, you gotta make sure in your best interest that the energy is always correct. Be appreciative. And at the end of the day, just love each other. Because, they can be here today and be gone tomorrow. You gotta understand it. Now I'm bringing people into my personal life. Because these are things I think about when I'm at the house, smoking and shit. Hearing my children say mommy and shit, I'm like, I heard you. Oh, they said it multiple times. I heard. My girl cried when Vanessa lost Kobe.
Jackie.
My girl cried for Vanessa when she lost Kobe.
Empathy.
She like, that's sad. I'm like, yeah, baby, I know, baby. It's crazy. You just gotta pray for him. Not knowing. My turn. We don't think of these things. We don't This is everyday. This shit real out here, man. Folk think this shit real, nigga. You can lose your mind about this shit.
Thank you for sharing. But from what I do know, from the reports, prototypical procedure, the mommy makeover, right? And I got women in my life that I have to, like, a lot of people live vicariously through me. A lot of people are depending on me, have 8 kids. So that Cam Newton that y'all see with the crazy hats and the crazy outfits on the football field, that's not who they know. They know daddy.
Right.
My question is, does it make you look at bodily procedures differently, knowing what you went through?
I'm gonna say it like this, and I want folks to stay with me now, cause I ain't gonna bring people into my personal life.
Yes, sir.
Or what someone said, or what I said, or when you move as a unit, whatever happens, we move as a unit. I get why women wants to enhance themselves. I get it, but fellas, we have to do more on just continuously telling our women that they're beautiful.
You're enough.
We have to continuously tell them that they're gorgeous. We have to always, don't make your woman feel like she has to go do something, even if you fucking with another chick. Like, no. You just love a woman, that's it. And women, listen to your man. Just listen. Just listen. Just listen. I can't sit here and say, because even with right now, even with that going on, right, this is what I'm reminded every day. If you look at it, bro, the women, the rate of the BBLs, and you the only person that can do this, can't nobody else get me to talk about this shit. Take this clip and then run that shit. No, I'm not talking about this nowhere else. If you look at the women today, it's a lot of women who have BBLs when you go outside.
Yes, sir.
So I'm constantly reminded. Like, they made it. There go another big booty. She made it. Go in the club. All these motherfuckers in here made it. See what I'm saying? So we just gotta continue to go through the stages and understand that that's just how it is, my nigga. Shit. You got the rest of your life and the rest of all the other life, man. What you gonna do with this, from this situation? Just stay prayed up, stay working, stay moving. Because I'm not finna sit here and tell somebody don't do what they wanna do, don't do the rule, no. But if you got a woman, just continuously to tell her that she's gorgeous, continuously to tell her that she's beautiful, you feel me? And whatever happens after that, it happens. People make decisions. As a unit, you have to live with that as a unit. So I can't even sit here and say, oh, I'm against nothing, oh, I'm with it. As a unit, I took a loss.
All right. Apologies for the length of the video, man. Let's go ahead and discuss it. Got DC Young Fly. Guys don't know his children's mother. Not sure if they was married or not, but she passed away from what appeared to be a BBL procedure. As he looks back on the situation, he's telling the world to tell your woman she's beautiful. Let your woman know that she's good enough to be well received in this world. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. I'm gonna go ahead and start with you, Cookie. What are your thoughts?
I received what he said. I think that the culture of the world and females in a certain age group is beyond repair. I know women that'll lose men behind BBLs. I'm going to get one anyway, and they say, "I'm doing this for me." Are you though? So, I mean, I get what he's saying and I agree with what he's saying. But will it work? I don't know. I think people just need to love themselves, and just like we was talking about counselors and getting outside source and non-biased opinions in the last segment, you definitely should do some counseling before you decide to go fix whatever it is that you think is wrong, Beauty hurts. I guess if it's beautiful, if that's what you want to call beautiful, but I don't think we should put this on the man. It's not a man's responsibility to tell a woman she good enough. It's called self-esteem, bitch. Get some. And I'm not victim blaming, but if he a unit, he felt like he was a unit. That should have been his wife if that wasn't. And second, the reason she probably got it anyway is because she wasn't his wife. Because a wife would not be able to do it unless her husband let her. I feel like maximum body manipulation and mutilation is it's like cutting. I don't know if I can say that like that would keep people self harm, and that's what I relate BBLs to, self harm. So I think that's more of a mental health issue than it is just vanity.
All right. Go ahead, Shan.
I do believe that any type of surgery that's elective is not good. It's so funny how we focus on BBL, but people have been getting breast implants for years. Nobody's ever said anything about that. And I do know BBL is a little bit more dangerous, with a few more deaths per surgery. But yeah, I personally, I'm against all surgeries that are elective. If it's not there to save your life, then I believe that you should not be having it, period. So that's just how I feel. And I'm not going to seclude and say BBLs or mommy makeovers. I'm saying any elective surgery that you don't need, especially if it's for something as superficial as just, and I can't say, because I ain't gonna say them wrinkles start coming in. I may not, but I am kind of anything that is, even if that's not as, yeah, it's kind of invasive. But yeah, I'm not for it. I would speak against it to anybody.
All right. Go ahead, Brother Hank, what are your thoughts about these BBLs and encourage your women, men to tell women that they're beautiful?
I mean, more fake shit that some individuals want to put on themselves. I mean, these are all selfish decisions. If you do that, that's just you being selfish. You're not doing it for your man. You're not doing it for your husband. You're doing it for self, and you're looking for the attention of other men other than your husband, other than men that may be your boyfriend or your whatever y'all want title you want to give them. That's what you're doing. You're not doing it for me. Don't sit there and lie and put out a front. Yeah, I'm doing it for you. No, you're not. You're doing it for the attention that it brings with you. You're doing it for your own self gratification that you're getting from it. That's why you're doing it. So you lie and sit there and say all you want. Oh, baby, I'm doing it for you. No, you're not. And if you're a man that allows it to happen and okay with that to happen, then you foolish. Because what's the next thing? What's next after she gets a BBL? What's next she gonna do? What's the next procedure she gonna do that's unnecessary? That's not something that needs to be done for her for livelihood in order to live and move on. It's not like she's going out there and get a transplant of an organ. No, you trying to enhance certain parts of your body because you feel insecure about certain things. Well, let me tell you what can help you be more secure. How about you get you a membership to your local gym and work your ass out and get it the most natural way you can. It may even save you a few dollars here and there. How about you do that shit? instead of taking your ass up under the knife and open yourself up to diseases and possibly your life. I land there, JR. Thanks.
You want to say something, Shan?
You know, I think that it's hard for men to understand, but women do like attention, right? Especially in this day and age where social media is taking over. Whether we like it or not, a lot of women like attention. And some women don't naturally get attention. It's no different from, I'm just trying to make you guys understand. It's no different from a man wanting to pursue a job because he wants more access to more women. Women do it in a different type of way. They want access to whatever type of men that they want. You understand what I'm saying? So let's just say you are a woman and you are bad bodied. So you like, dang, I'm not getting nobody with the sponge body. You sponge, what's his name? SpongeBob body. So we've even seen people put SpongeBob bodies on memes and like, oh, and then they talk about it. So if you were in that situation, you don't know what you would do just to get the attention of not getting that attention. You feel me? So I always try to put myself in other people's shoes. I think it has got out of hand. And again, I still preach you should never undergo surgery. But I do need you guys to understand why this is taking place the way it is. It's because everybody wasn't born with the voluptuous body. You know, just like every man wasn't born smart. They got to get it other ways. You feel me? So we all do things for the opposite sex attention. We all do that. And unfortunately, this is what some women do to get the attention from the opposite sex. That's all.
I need to go get a better job to get a different access to women. I got it because I wanted more money.
Cook, we can't hear you.
Had none of women, man. What you say, Joe?
I was telling Cook we can't hear. I don't know if you got a phone call in between, but you might gotta hit the refresh button to come back in. Go ahead, Mila.
But you can't hear. That's not every man's story. You're an attractive guy, right? So we know that there's some men who may have to do other things to get the same women that you may get naturally. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is there are women in the same situation who are not getting attention from guys any other way. So they feel like this is my way of getting attention from a man.
Mm-hmm. Shan, we seen some of these women already look good. Some of these women already have a decent body. They don't have that SpongeBob body that you're talking about, and yet they still going out here and doing these things. Some of these women already have men, and yet they still going to do that. Now, please make that make sense. Why are they doing
at that point? It's not really for the men. It's really more in competition with the other women around them.
Women. It's women.
Yes,
Women.
that's really
what it is.
So are y'all bull daggers now? Is that what y'all bull daggers and want attention from a woman?
Yeah, no. Because it's not about being sexual. It's not sexual attention that women is. It's competition. It's literally women being in competition with other women. Like that's just how women are. Now I don't know why, but women be in competition.
Let me say no. I'm against it. I'm against it. Let's just be. But I'm gonna be.
Women don't like to compete. That's what you told me at one time, Shan.
No. We don't like that. So no. Okay. So she clearly has a man who's in the spotlight, right? So she knows, and I know him as being this God-fearing guy, right? But let's just take him out of his godliness out of the situation. She's with a man, and he's like, let's just say, name a popular black man. Give me somebody.
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Even though he likes natural, but let's just say he's with a guy, and this man has an infinite amount of opportunity around him. You know, you got to keep your stuff right. She just had kids, so she wanted a mommy makeover because she had kids that kind of, kids will come in there kickboxing in your body. You know what I'm saying? It don't look the same. And fortunately, if you have a man who loves you regardless, you don't have to do that. But it almost sounds to me like he kind of supported the decision. So maybe at some point he agreed with her that it was okay to get this done for whatever reason. But like you said, if I'm talking to a regular guy and we have mediocre competition, okay, but you'll never know what people who are dating these guys. Y'all always say the higher up he makes, the more options he got. You got to stay right, stay tight. Men leaving women for younger people, younger women. Y'all say that all the time. She's just trying to compete.
Well, then that tells me that she's not secure in her own relationship
For
or
sure.
marriage.
I wouldn't disagree with
You know
that.
what I'm saying? Because, like, if you are the mother of my children and you just finished giving birth, right? Whether it's one or back to back, whatever sequential time period it has been presented, why am I so concerned for you to look like the chick that's on IG? That chick on IG is single and doesn't have kids. You're the one I chose. You're the mother of my children. I need you to move and operate within a motherly capacity. Your body will snap back within time, heal, rest, allow your body to go through its natural progression, and then let's revisit this conversation about doing any work or enhancement. But it's not like I'm a birth the kid today and tomorrow I'm on the operating table to get nipped and tucked. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? We're creating a delusional understanding of it's almost I'm gonna say something very insensitive. It almost seems like looking like a mother or having the receipts or the tears of what a mother had gone through to give birth or bring a child into this life. It's almost frowned upon. We can't see what that looks like. We have to see the finished dud up product. And I think that's a product of just like where we are today in our society. Like, it's just so mentally warped. I go ahead. You.
I'm gonna answer this. I agree with you, Luis. But I'm gonna answer this like I feel like a panelist would. I feel like if all y'all men stopped entertaining these bitches with these BBLs, then BBLs would no longer be popular. So y'all need to get on y'all's brethren and tell y'all's brethren to quit entertaining these hoes so natural will be back beautiful. Now see, Luis just said we should incorporate natural and accept the natural body. But I just slammed everybody on the panel, include every man with a penis. So what I will say is a lot of men out here are entertaining these hoes. I'm just trying to teach y'all like I would. It's called scaffolding. And it is giving them the illusion that that is what is wanted. Sorry. As far as women in relationships go, I don't know what they be thinking. That's on the guy and on her. That means she don't want him.
I think it's a self-esteem issue. I think all of this just boils down to a self-esteem issue. Period. In a relationship, outside of a relationship, it's really self-esteem. I don't think that men need to be telling you that you beautiful. I mean, obviously, if you're in a relationship, people have words of affirmations, right? But you have to love you first. You the only person. Like, you have to love you regardless of your flaws, imperfections. You gotta love you. And I think a lot of women, unfortunately, they don't love themselves. So when you don't love yourself, and then you get on Instagram, you get on TikTok, you get on Facebook, you get on Twitter, and you see all of these bodies. You see men with the heart eyes and the Google faces on, oh, I wish I had that, and oh, I love that, and oh, your body, and that thing is thinging, and look at that ad, da, da, da. And when you don't love yourself, you start to internalize those things. Well, maybe this why I ain't got no man, and maybe if I had this, then maybe I'll get a man. And I think, unfortunately, society has made people insecurities be a little bit more, I guess, known or prevalent. And unfortunately, because opposite gender, we do stuff for the opposite sex, right? Now all these women getting BBLs, they getting their faces redone, and you got people don't even look like they self no more. It's a lot, and unfortunately, it's not a lot of men. It's not a lot of men like encouraging and uplifting natural bodies and pregnancy stomachs and not the big booties and saggy titties. Like, nobody be talking about that. Like, you get bashed if your titties sag. You getting bad, you know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of have a tough skin. Thankfully, I got bullied my whole life. So, it's okay. But some people, they can't handle it. And to some people, words, especially if words or affirmations is like your primary love language, I can see how like that constant ridicule or those constant SpongeBob memes and things like that could just make you feel insecure. But I just think that we just got to start with self-love and going to therapy and really knowing, like, honestly, beauty is from within. So it doesn't matter how physically attractive you are. If your soul ain't right and your energy off, you're not going to attract the man or woman that you're really looking for anyways. But it's very unfortunate that people in relationships be doing that. I don't know, because I do know people in relationships personally that be encouraging their girls to get BBLs. So I don't know from the man perspective. I don't know if is that trying to stop them from cheating. I don't know, because there's so much temptation out there. I don't know, but I do know people personally that do encourage their women. And I don't know, like, from a man perspective, I don't know if are y'all telling y'all women like, oh, you don't need that, or are y'all trying to like just support her, or like I guess I don't understand, because like, for example, like women that be wearing these lace fronts, I mean, I know men be saying they don't like the lace fronts, but then they not telling their girl that they don't like the lace fronts. So if me and y'all don't like BBLs, why y'all not telling the women like, hey, we don't like that, like, don't do that?
I think there is a large subset, a group of men who say they don't like the BBLs. I don't. I have yet to come across anybody within my own personal circle, close friend circle, business circle, family, uncles and stuff like that are like, yes, champion BBLs, you know what I'm saying, with the big signs, you know what I'm saying, and bold cap letters. Like, I just don't see that or hear that. I understand that there is a marketing ploy happening from the beauty industry, from the cosmetic industry and the surgery industry. Of course, they're pushing it because it's easy to market to impressionable young, women, you know what I'm saying, who might be at a point in their life where they don't feel comfortable about themselves, or someone has not told them that that they are valued or that they are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And sort of here comes all these thousands of advertisements, all these different images of different women that look a particular type of way, and they're seeing 1,500 images a day, and they're like, I gotta be like that, or I want to be like that, but they don't have an understanding why. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be a conspiracy theorist and none of that. I just think that there's a huge marketing machine that is pumping a lot of dollars into putting women in front of certain images to be like, this is what I want. Not understanding that there's not a single man that works at the bus stop all the way to the corporate office C-suite on the corner that's saying, yes, we want BBLs. That is not happening. There's a particular interest group that has that because there's billions of dollars in the beauty in cosmetic industry. And we all know this.
I think just maybe more men just need to, I don't know, for those impression, just maybe speak about it a little bit more, because like even rappers and people, they talk about BBLs, and it was a meme, if you don't got no BBL, you broke. This whole meme was going around for a long time, like, if you ain't got no BBL, if you ain't got no veneers, if you ain't got your eyebrows tatted, if you ain't got this, you a broke bitch. Like, huh? So then with it's like, it's so much misinformation out here, and it's so much impressionable stuff. So when people don't know, they like internalize it. And unfortunately, we talk a lot about BBLs, but we don't be talking about natural beauty, or these celebrities, right? You look at the Shade Room and all of these things, they be uplifting the BBL girls, like that Bernice girl. They always post her whole body. She a pretty girl, but it's all fake. You know what I'm saying? They don't be broadcasting natural beauty no more. Like, we don't broadcast it. It's all the makeup, the lashes, the brows, the titties lifted, the big ass. Like, so it gets a little bit hard to see natural now.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Because anybody could be natural, but you could be natural and it still don't look good. So I think what we need to be pushing is for people to early on make sure that they are working out and pushing the benefits of keeping yourself in shape and making sure you don't let
But it
yourself.
may look good to somebody else though, just not to you, right? It's somebody that likes something out there.
I understand somebody that likes something. Again, we only talking about people that are real selective. There are some people that like things because that's all that they can attract. There are some people that like it because maybe they might like the way that it feel. We don't know, but when it comes to if you are someone that don't want um, like insecure daughters or insecure sons, then you need to make sure that you are letting them know the value that can be received. It's not a bad thing to work out. It's not a bad thing. And then when we was having this conversation, it's making me think because there are a lot of men that keep themselves intact and they in the gym and they getting all the praise in the world. And the people that's not in the gym, they're not getting looked at. So you can't help what people are attracted to, right? And I don't see a lot of men that are going up under the knife. It's something that's coming along with the hair pieces. This is something that's all new, I guess, within probably the past 5 years, or maybe it's been going on just in experimental stages. But I don't think we should tell people to stop promoting that because some people you can't even tell. Some people you don't even know because they make it look natural, and you didn't know them when they was younger. So it's really hard to tell them. Maybe women may notice it. Just like I remember the first time I realized. I told this story a while ago, but this woman that I was dating like years ago in my early 20s, I thought she had some good hair. It was curly and wavy, and I thought she was from the islands. And when I put my hand in her head, I'm just like, "What the hell?" I said, "This girl got lumps in her head." I said she got lumps in her head. I didn't know that the hair was braided and that this is when I was first introduced to how women can fool men with their hair. Like I didn't know what was going on, so I was traumatized. I was traumatized in my early 20s because I thought something was seriously wrong with her head. I thought maybe it was just she just grew her hair over it. Maybe she might have had some brain surgery or I don't know. It was just real lumpy and hard. And now that I think back, I think she was kind of like moved, kind of shift a little bit because once I did like this, she was like, that's just a funny story, man. But I said it all to say, just to kind of bring it back home, is that we don't know if you want to be attractive, then there are ways that the world measures attraction, and one of those things that you can do that would almost guarantee you to have attraction is making sure you keep your body intact.
Man,
So that's
this
the
is
only
crazy.
way
This is
y'all for attraction is y'all bodies.
So
Body.
yeah, no,
Is that,
this is sad.
is that
This
like how
is
y'all for attraction?
no, I'm just saying like there's ways. I mean, you can make sure you shave every day or every other day, making sure you stay lined up, making sure you dress well, there's things that you can do to heighten your attraction for men and women. But what I'm saying is that women like what they like, and they have no problems hardening like it, man. Ooh, ooh, girl, look at him. You see it all the time, and that's the same thing that men do. So for women to tell men not to praise it, we're basically saying, yeah, there's some people that's obvious, but there's some people that's not obvious. Then what? Go ahead, Shamblin.
So before I was going to say that I do know the majority of men do like natural bodies. If you look out and you see the majority of men in reality, they are with women who have natural bodies, right? They're married to women who have natural bodies. I think the issue is that women are going after a certain type of man. And when there's what they're doing is they're taking the internet and seeing that these certain type of men who are very, very small percentage of men like a certain type of body, and they're trying to be a part of that clique. And so they rearrange their body for that certain type of man that they'll probably never have access to, even with that body. And I also, and I will say that I live in a major city. There are men here who care about image. They want a baddie on their hands, and sometimes they'll pay for it. I've heard men say that they will pay for it. So I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on for a second. And so that's where the confusion comes in, But I must admit, majority of the men in reality like for their women. The women that they marry, the women that they take serious have natural bodies. So,
All right.
Yeah, this is crazy. It just shows how lazy some people are. You don't want to go work out, but you prefer to do it the easy way. Then if we don't praise you enough, I give you enough compliment, you feel like you need to go up under the knife. You do this for a seeking of attention of another man, but you're too lazy to have a conversation with your man to even talk about the situation. This is crazy. This just come full circle, Jay. I see what's going on here. You come full circle with this. Don't want to talk, man, about your problems and your insecurity and all that. You want to seek validation from somebody outside your relationship. If your man doesn't encourage you or tell you you're beautiful enough, like every 5 to 10 seconds, if he doesn't tell you every 5 to 10 seconds, then guess what you're going to do? Oh, I'm going to go to the internet. I'm going to IG. I'm going to other social media outlets to seek a validation from other men. So how do I get that attention that I'm looking for? I go get a BBL. I put myself up under the knife. I put my life on the line just to get a few more nice, kind compliments and words from somebody other than one of you tenderfoots. Yeah, that's some lazy shit, man. Some lazy shit, man.
It is lazy.
Guys, just tuning in. Welcome to Lapeef-ing Sundays. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We get to these super chats and we get into the main topic. Ikene says men are not the reason why women are getting BBL. Most women get BBL from what I hear from other women, and I'm in competition with other women. It's not men. I think we said Ikene. Ms. Jackson, $5 says BBL are a sign of low self-esteem, mental illness on many levels. You don't love yourself enough to put in the work for a natural transformation. That's what Brother Hink was just talking about, saying they're lazy. And lastly, Ikene said, to be honest, some women do need BBL and breast. Some women do need.
See, that's where the confusion come from for women. Because, I don't know. That's sad.
I'm not confused at all. Like that, if that's what he want, that's what he want. Like, but that's what I'm saying. That's part of the problem. It's Negroes like that and these she-males in the comments that's calling women names up here. That it's probably courting a woman with a BBL right now, think that it's okay and that it's cool because they see NBA players who have the IQs of a fly doing the exact same thing, getting these women pregnant. So at the end of the day, remember that DNA don't lie, and that BBL gonna produce SpongeBob kids because that body is not going to transfer over into your daughter. Your daughter going to be built like SpongeBob, and your wife going to look like that, and she going to be getting bullied because you didn't do the research. So good for y'all. Good riddance, actually. So
that's true.
I don't know about this part about some women need BBLs. I don't. Why would they need that? I mean, why would you need that shit? If your shit ain't right, man, get it right. To get it together by working out, doing what you got to do. You don't have look. Every man's not a breast man. Every man's not an ass man. Find you a man who doesn't mind you having a white girl bill. They out there. I promise you, they are.
Or get another race.
and them bad bodies stay married. I ain't never met a
They
bad
do.
body that ain't
Bad
married.
bodies be in love. They stay in relationships.
So
having a nice body actually sucks because people think you trying to get attention from men. So I don't know why people go out and pay to have a certain type of body because you stay more single. Actually,
Just because they can't decide, they get so much attention, so they can't decide. Figure it out.
No, they just be trying to get them ball players, then cry about getting cheated on, which is the biggest conundrum. I don't.
Yeah, another one from Perry and like $4.99. Appreciate you, brother. Says the BBL is largely mimicking a version of natural body type that a lot of men like. Men taking steroids is a similar issue. Self-worth is the issue. right, let's go ahead and get into this main topic.
BBL, sorry, real quick, 5 seconds. The BBLs don't mimic nothing natural. They look like little ants walking around with their booties. Stop it, sir.
I
Because the
will
Stop.
thighs do
say
not be matching the hips. Oh my
them
god, it's like too big.
the petite BBLs do look real natural, and I see why men get like confused because those look really natural. The white people, they get those a lot, and they look really really
They
natural.
do.
They look really
Let me
natural.
just say this real fast. I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and I'm sorry, you can't go from when none of y'all had butts to now some of y'all like it doesn't work that. I don't think it works that way. It's just not. It's not in your genetics. So all of a sudden, all y'all got butts. Where did them butts come from?
Unless you had
know, there was
kids.
flat back in the 80s and 90s. Y'all know that.
Unless they had kids and it filled them out, kids fill people out too. So
Going on, Viz. Ikene again says, not for me. Some women become pretty afterwards. So he's embracing the BBLs. He said they become pretty afterwards. You're on mute, Mila. Yeah. Okay, you don't want to say that. Okay. All right, you guys just tuning in. Welcome to Lapeef-ing Sunday. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll get into our main topic. Our main topic is she deserves to be a wife. I got to put ass on there. Here go the clip.
About boosting my homegirls and my friends up and saying that you absolutely should be a wife, but we don't know these people in those romantic, intimate spaces.
Talk about it.
Now, your friend can have all of the characteristics that you see, right? But then when you're in a romantic relationship, you don't see the subconscious behaviors that they have. You don't see the self-sabotage that presents itself. So just because you see that there are wife qualities such as being able to cook or being able to be a helpmate and things like that, you don't see the attitude and temperament and behavioral patterns that are actually in that romantic relationship. So it sounds good, and I'm all about, I love seeing people being able to wed and things like that, but we do have to be able to realize that sometimes in those spaces, because we don't know what's going on, we can't even hold them accountable to certain things. So what you probably do, I know you advocating for your girl, and I'm all good for that because I'm an advocate for my girls too. I know you riding for her, right? But you just don't know her in those spaces, okay? Whoever's dating her, whoever chooses to pursue her, let them find out who she actually is. You just stand in the place as a supportive friend.
All right. She deserves to be a wife. She said, let that person find out who she going to be. I'm going to go ahead and go to you, Cookie. What are your thoughts about that?
Assuming that the person you're talking to wants to be a wife, I completely agree with her. It's one thing to lift people up. It's another thing to just speak on things that you don't know about. And I have a tendency not to do that. So if I don't do women, so I would be romantically involved with a woman to know if she's wife material. So I kind of just mind my business and watch. Do I feel like everybody on this planet, not just women, I believe men as well, deserves to be loved? Absolutely. Some people just ain't marriage material, so you shouldn't just be going out spitting out, you deserve to be married. And you deserve to be loved. No, I don't know if you necessarily deserve to be married. I can't co-sign on that. So I agree with her. That's how I feel about it.
What are your thoughts about it, Viz?
Yeah, I would have to agree for sure. I even agree with Cookie on this one. I think that everyone absolutely deserves to be loved. I think that everyone deserves to experience marriage, but only if you're willing to do the work, to for that experience. So I agree 100% with what she's saying. Some women have the potential to be great wives, but their ego, may be in their way and prevent them from being able to be a great wife. So, and vice versa for men. So I agree.
Okay. Let me go ahead and bring back up
My bad.
No, it's all good. Mila, did you see the video? You was able to hear it? Okay. What are your thoughts about it?
Sorry, excuse me. I would agree with Cookie as well. I think that everyone deserves love, but I don't think everybody meant to be married. It's not for everybody. Um, I also feel like we shouldn't be telling people what they should or shouldn't deserve because we don't know them on a romantic level, right? So we don't know if they should be married or they shouldn't be married, right? It's not for us to really say because every person may want or need different things out of a relationship. Hank may need something different from Viz out of his wife, right? So I may find that this person not deserving of marriage. But then Louise may say, you know what, this lady deserved to be my wife, or whatever the case may be. So I just think that everything is about perspective. Each person is different. Each person has different expectations for what they are looking for in their partner. And I don't think whether it's a friend, family, a stranger, for us to be telling somebody what they do or don't deserve, because who the fuck are we, right? Like, that's their life, is for them to figure out, for them to do. And that's not really none of our business. But I do feel like everybody not meant to be married. And I think relationships would be better if people were just a little bit more honest about that, because marriage is a lot of fucking work. And a lot of people don't even know how to communicate. So if you don't have the base level of communication, marriage may not be for you. So those are just my thoughts on it. But I do think everybody deserves love because we all need it.
All right. Go ahead, Brother Hank.
So I disagree with everybody what they said up here so far. Nobody deserves love. Nobody deserves marriage. You got to earn marriage. You got to earn my last name. I'm not just going to give it to you. You got to earn it. Just like love. Nobody deserves love. It's not guaranteed you get love from a person or anybody. If you an asshole, constantly asshole, that means I still have to love you. I'm not Jesus. I don't give a damn about you. So you're not going to get love from Hank. So go screw yourself. If you an asshole and that's how you carry yourself, you come on me, I'm not going to show you no love. Why? Who said I have to? I got a choice in the decision. So I'm not going to love you just because you feel like you deserve it. No, you don't. And the marriage part about it, no. Ladies, I'm sorry. You don't deserve marriage. You got to earn that. That's why there's a lot of unmarried women out here, because they haven't earned it yet for whatever reason, whether it's earning a man's attention and a relationship with a man, to the earning that man's opportunity to walk down that aisle with that man, or to go to the courthouse with that man, or for that man to get on the knees and propose to you. You have to earn that. It's not just given to you. You have to work. Shan, you got to compete. And if you don't, you're going to be lonely than a motherfucker.
Let the church say amen.
Go ahead, Shan Monet.
I think, most of the things that Hank said, he took the words right out of my mouth. I feel like some people are just unlovable. You get what you put out. Some of y'all assholes, who gonna love that? Your mom, that's it. So I do believe, I agree with you on that, Hank. Now, as it relates to a mate, I think it was, somebody said it. I do agree. Just because you're a good man doesn't mean that you are a good husband for somebody. Just because you're a good woman and you have all these qualities doesn't mean you're a good wife for a certain man. I think everybody looks for something different. And until you find that person who you mesh with, you're not going to make it to the next round. People know what's right for them, and it's all individualized. I can sit here and say she meets all of these, on paper, but he's got to believe that it's got to work well for his life. You guys have to be compatible with each other. So I don't think that we're all going to be wives. You're going to all be husbands. I don't believe that. And like Hank said, it's competitive. You have to work hard to get his last name. You have to see what it is that he wants in a wife, And if you fulfill those, I'm sure he's not going to waste your time. He's going to give you his last name. But the first step is making sure that you're everything that it is that he needs in his life. And that's it.
Man, yeah. The definition of to deserve is to have earned. So that's when you say deserves love, that means that you automatically assume that the person earned it.
Yeah.
You're on mute, JR.
All right. I was asking Luis, was he there? Maybe not. Let me ask this question then. So you guys are saying that you don't have to be, that women don't have to be married, right? Or people don't have to be married. Then why is it that a lot of women are measured as far as if they're successful with love, if they're not married?
People always listen. We live in a world where people judge people on stuff all the time. That's just how the world works. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just how people think. If she's not married to somebody, that's her. Like I understand what you're saying, but it's just people dipping in other people's business, putting rules on other people's lives. That's it.
Dane Smith said wives are better. Why is that?
I think it also depends on if a woman wants to be married. Like every woman don't want to be married, just like every man don't want to be married. And I think we need to stop projecting our ideologies, perspectives, beliefs onto everybody, because it's not for everybody. If it was, everybody would be doing it. And some people are better off. They do better not ever like being officially married, right? Like I know couples who never been officially married, but they have way better successful relationships in a family, a tribe, than people that are officially married. So I just think people have to find what resonates with them in their life. Like everything is not for everybody. I think people need to mind their own fucking business and worry about their personal circle and not try to project, well, she not a successful woman because she's not married or because she doesn't have kids. Maybe that's not her life calling. Maybe in this life she's supposed to be doing something else. Or maybe she's meant to have kids at 50, and get married at 50. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's timeline is different. And I think we should stop judging and projecting onto women and men because they're living a life different than ours, right? Like, mind your business.
Well, I think marriage, the symbolization of marriage was showing that you can be committed at one point in time, and I think that it still stands for men, as to where if they are married, more than likely people will feel more comfortable conducting business with them because they can show that they're committed. It's the same for women. The general thought is that if you see a woman that's not married by 40, whatever the case may be, okay, what's wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? It's one of them type of deals. And even for men, right? So even though this of course has changed over time, I don't think that is necessarily something bad. I think that I think that we do need to go back to shaming people. If we plan to create standards within our culture, that comes with it. So to tell Black women and Black men that they shouldn't get married, I think is somewhat counterproductive to what it is that we would want to see in the long run. But essentially, man and woman was put here. Marriage was placed together for them to serve each other and go forth and multiply. So now, if we don't have anybody getting married, we're now having an endless amount of children that's being brought into life out of wedlock, and that's not a good look either. So that's my perspective on it, my thought on it.
Can somebody define marriage for me?
Define marriage, what is, as far as in the society or government?
However you feel like you need to define it.
Marriage is two people taking a vow under God, under oath, to love and serve each other.
Okay, so you're speaking on the governmental part of marriage, because I mean, I think what Mila was saying, did I say that right?
Yeah, you did, Mila.
Okay. What Mila was saying is that she's not saying that people are against marriage. It's just different levels to the shit. You know what I mean? For different people. Um yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say. I think it's different levels to what marriage is depending on your belief system and how you were raised, and like she said, she's seen couples be together and raise their children together that never went to the courthouse or not, and so have I.
Yeah,
But
no, I know a couple, I know a few couples that have done the same thing. I At one point in time, I even questioned, like, man, marriage is nothing but just the government just having a sheet of paper on you type of
yeah,
deal. But it's much deeper than that, though. So now just imagine those couples that we do know that haven't went to the courthouse. Their children are now going to have that same theory, and that's going to continue to pass on as well. So it's again, it's a counterproductive thing to the overall goal of what it is that we want in our own in our culture. So I'm not necessarily saying I'm against it, but it's a detriment because that's what is happening now. And if it continues, it's only going to get worse. So at what point do we stop it?
I think what's happening now is women are having can't get along after they're having children, and they hate each other's guts, whether it's because they can't be together because they can and they won't, whatever, for whatever reason. But I think if children are raised under a roof with two parents under any circumstances, whether their parents went to the courthouse or not, that and those kids' dad are on the birth certificate, he's in their life, I don't think anything negative comes from that at all. I For the culture or mentally, I just that's where I disagree with a lot of the things that we talk about. It's like marriage. And it isn't necessarily a reflection of my own views. I just feel like we have to start thinking about the spectrum of people that we reach and the different belief systems that they had. Like you said, once upon a time, you thought the government was in your business. If you have a living will, you're living with your children, and those kids don't know the difference. Their parents are together, and y'all love them, and they go off and die, and all they know is their parents were together. That's all they know, and they know love. I think we overthink things a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll land there.
All right.
Now, them
Go
kids
ahead.
don't know the difference when they got two different last names. That's going to be the difference. Your name is Cookie. My name is Ink.
Absolutely not. You can get your name changed. Who does that? Who doesn't give their children their dad's last name if they're gonna live together and be together? That's crazy.
No, that happens.
Well, most of the time, that's what
I
happens.
know it does,
That's
but
what
I'm
happens.
talking about a functional family that
Hold on,
just
you gotta let.
chose not to get married.
Hold on, you
They're
guys.
gonna have
I got.
names changed.
She ain't gonna do that. She gonna fight me to this. That's cool. I'm okay with that. But most of the times,
I ain't tripping.
that's not what
Y'all can make all the
they
shit I
do.
say negative. It's cool. I'm not tripping.
That's not what
Fuck
they
it.
do, though. Most of the times, people are not going to the extreme. What you're talking about, Cookie, going to change their last names. They're not. So when them kids come up, last name is Jr. The kid's name is Monet because they under Shan's watch. If all of a sudden they can't get along, we won't get out. She can get out. She could just leave because why? She has no ties.
Y'all know some horrible ass people, and
Well,
that's
no,
what
we
I've
we
learned
just
on these
saying it just
panels. Y'all
happens
have been
though.
A
surrounded by
lot of horrible ass
horrible
people in the world.
humans your
I
whole
know.
life, and I feel very bad for you all.
Everybody in your circle is perfect, but there's some people outside your circle that's not like that.
Yeah.
More people are like what I'm talking about than what you're talking about. Going as far as changing last name, they're not doing all this. They're shacking up. They're just living together, trying to raise kids together. But guess what? Soon as that day come where we can't get along, we need to figure out this. We can't get along to the point they ready to move out. She could just go, no consequence, no backlash. And guess what? She can also get. She could file for that back child support for them years that we stayed together. Even though I was taking care of them kids and we lived as one, she could file for back child support if she wants on certain states. I know her in
So why
Kentucky.
have a baby
We just
with this
passed a law. They could go as far as back as before the child is even on this earth. They can get support if need be. They can go that far back. And they got a limit. I think it's like 5 years here is a limit here. But imagine them going back 5 years. Even though we were together, playing house, shacking up, doing all those things y'all talking about doing, they could do that. That kid could be born and not even have your last name. Why? Because you're not entitled. Because you're not what they consider father. Because you got to establish maternity. See, that's a problem. Why are we playing this house shit? We're going to go this far and do all this. We might as well go. Let's take it one step further. Now, we don't have to involve the state, as y'all was talking about. We don't have to do all of that. But guess what we can do? We can go out and go do the ceremony, however you want to. You don't have to do it for your religious beliefs, whatever that case may be. You can go through everything and do it that way, if that's what you want to do, without involving the government and the state. That's cool. You don't have to do that if that's what you want to do. But let's don't play with it. Let's do it. Let's make it official.
Go ahead, Shan.
So I do agree with Ink on that. I think that the problem is, but I know what you're saying, Cookie, because I've seen people like that too. You've been together for so long, you thought they were married, and you find out they're not married. I've seen that, absolutely. But I think the problem is that's not what majority of these people are doing. If it were shown that majority were doing this and it was working out, then I don't think there would be complaints. Majority of people, when they're not married, are living in separate households, tit for tat. Maybe they can co-parent you respectfully, but they're not under the same household raising the kids. So I think that's, we have to recognize that, yes, it can be done the way you're saying, Cookie. The problem is most people are not doing it that way. And that's where the issue comes in. Because not everybody's Christian. Not everybody has a religious belief that you have to go under, and do it a certain kind of way, right? And we can't put that on people, but the kids do better when both parents are actively raising the kids. Kids.
I agree with that, but we were talking about marriage. I'm not talking about baby moms and baby daddies. Y'all moving the goalposts.
Well, they are.
What all I said was marriage. I asked for the definition of marriage. Then I said, does everybody deserve to be married? Then I went into the other types of marriages that do exist and that are successful. I'm not saying it's a bunch of idiots out here that bastard children to be horrible human beings. I never disagree with that, but that's not what I was talking about. I was just saying that be clear.
You're going out.
Yeah. Your thing is going in and out real bad. But yeah, if you take away marriage in those situations, even though I did agree with Cookie, if you take out marriage in those situations, they are just baby mamas and baby daddies. If you're not married, you're single, technically. So it psychologically, if we can acknowledge that that environment psychologically impacts children and even adults, that is going to have some type of effect on them at some point, consciously or subconsciously, unconsciously.
All right, go ahead, Ikene.
Yeah, how you guys doing? Good afternoon, fellas. Um, what I gotta say is this, right? Nobody deserves to be married at all because we always say deserve, deserve, deserve. You don't deserve anything on this earth. You can only qualify for it by working hard, or you earn it by applying. But at the end of the day, you have to have trails of things you've done that qualifies you for that job. It's just like when you want to become a teller, right? You want to apply to become a teller at a sewing company, a company that makes dress. They're not just going to hire you and give you a machine. They want to see if you've gone to tailoring school, if you know, or if you've worked somewhere before, if do you have any sample, can you demonstrate on this machine, sewing machine, that you've made clothes before? They want to see that. So when you get into a relationship with a man to become a girlfriend, you're applying to be a girlfriend. Forget about the fact that today men are doing it the wrong way by getting any woman and sleeping with her. No, a woman has to apply by being approached by the man. Then when she then demonstrates to the man that yes, she can be a girlfriend, that will be a process of her qualifying to become a wife. You don't just become a wife by showing up. You got to be a wife by demonstrating to a man that you qualify through the process of courting, which is not really a girlfriend, but courting. But it's just because we've been, fucking each other, so it's different now. But at the end of the day, the reason why most men are single is not because most men don't want to be married. It's just because most men are getting the wrong deal for what they're paying for. Everybody needs to be married. There is no woman, any woman that comes to me and say, "Oh, marriage is not for everyone," she's lying. That's a big lie. Because when you date a woman, all of us as men here can testify. Whenever you sleep with a woman the first night, she want to change the title. She doesn't want to be a side chick. She doesn't want to be somebody you're talking to. She want to know what is there for her. Are you going to take her serious now? Just from the very first time you guys sleep. So and then after that, now she want to know, are you going to marry me? She might not say it out of her mouth, but she's constantly asking for marriage. No woman out there that doesn't want to get married. You guys need to stop all these things that women don't want to be wifed is a lie. Every woman out there, when she deals with a single man, she wants that man to be her husband. And number two, let me say this to you guys, please. Marriage is very, very necessary. Don't play it down because you ladies are sending mixed signals. When you when you know in the depth of your heart that you want to be a wife, but you speak out of your mouth that marriage is not for every woman, the man that is next to you automatically thinks you're not serious or you don't want to be married. I have seen women that confess out of their mouths that they don't want marriage, whereas they are seeking marriage from the man that they're dealing with. And that same man didn't get married to them for a long time because they've been saying out of their mouths that marriage is not for everyone. So be careful what you say. Somebody is listening. And that person that might be listening is the person that really wants to get married to you. But because you're putting your foot in your mouth. And I got to say this again, lastly. I don't give a damn about BBL. I don't want it. I don't want my wife to get it. I don't want her to get anything about BBL or implant or whatever. But some women, yeah, they become beautiful after they got BBL. That's what I was trying to say. Like they don't look bad, but BBL enhanced them. They weren't ugly. but BBL enhanced them. But the thing is this, they don't need it. They only wanted it. And it's
No,
a chemical.
some of them do need it.
Yeah,
It
but I
helps.
gotta say this. They're not ugly
Y'all
without it.
motherfuckers want me to take y'all seriously at
No,
what you said about marriage, and now y'all talking about BBLs is
no.
necessary.
I'm
JR,
not like
I'm taking a nap.
I was
Thank
trying
you
to
for
cover.
having me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was trying
I
to
told
cover.
you I had an hour and 45 minutes. I gave you 2. Can I go
Yeah,
to sleep?
yeah,
Yeah, we're ready in shortly. I just wanted to get them
Okay.
response.
I'll
yeah.
stay then.
So I was just trying to cover what I posted earlier. So to me personally, it's not a good thing because the reason why, as a science person, it's a chemical that goes into your body, and everything about chemical is that if it goes in, it got to come out. If you put a chemical inside your body, you got to let it out. So if you put something like that, which is a foreign object or a foreign agent into your body, there will come a time that foreign agent got to be out, and that's why you get all those kind of repercussions that do occur after BBL.
Correctly, is it Tedros or Tedro?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was just trying to address the point. Not trying to beat up on nobody, but Miss Mila said, mind your business. Everyone doesn't want to get married, and I can appreciate that perspective in a specific context. But any issue we talk about in Black American society, marriage will implicitly be like a consideration. Okay, if we talk about protect Black women or Black men need to build this and that, marriage is an integral part of all of these considerations. So you can't just dismiss it and say, well, everyone doesn't want to get married. Okay, well, if you don't care about marriage, then perhaps you don't care about Black society being built or the protecting Black women or the Black children being raised. Like, because marriage is the institution that kind of holds all of that together. So I just think, I understand the specific context. If we're not talking about, Black collectivism, then okay, I can agree with what she's saying. But if we are considering these other things, you can't just frivolously say that, So I was just trying to say that. I don't want to be confrontational enough.
I still stand on what I said. Everybody don't want to be married though. Like, I understand what you're saying from a building for family dynamics. That's 100% right. But still, everybody does not want to get married. Everybody does not want to be a parent. Like, being a parent, that's a big ass responsibility. And honestly, some people should have been reflective before they had a baby because they didn't need one. So I feel, and I stand on what I said, everybody don't need to be married, and everybody do not need to be a parent. That's why fuckers out here acting a fool, because they was not ready to be a parent. They not prepared. And that's why marriages are not working, because society has been telling everyone, get married, get married, get married, get married by 30. If you're not married by 30, what's wrong with you? If you're not married by 40, what's wrong with you? And that's
Yeah.
why all of these relationships are so fucked up, because we've been pushing this narrative that's literally not for everybody. And to get on that one person, every woman for real don't want to be married. Like, I don't know if I want to be married, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I have not seen any great examples of marriage in my 33 years of life, which I can say why I don't know why. I don't know if I want to be married, right? I haven't seen marriage be some great, phenomenal experience, right? I also don't know if I want to have children. I'm not, my mom had 5 kids. She was married for 25 years and she was miserable. I mean, so miserable to the point that she got sick and she recently passed. Like,
Wow.
for me and my family, I grew up in a 2-parent household. I also had a stepdaddy and a biological daddy who is very much in my life. My dad's my best friend. I'm a daddy's girl. And I still can say on the fact that I don't know if I want to be married and I don't know if I want to have kids.
Have
And
if I can ask a question real quick,
mhm.
is that experience, is that thought coming from from what you've seen externally?
Yeah, I have never seen like a successful marriage. I don't when I talk to people that have been married, it don't seem that great. Like it seemed like a prison. And I'm not saying that every marriage is in a prison, but just from because all I can speak is from my perspective, what I've
Yeah.
seen in my surroundings, and from like family
All right.
members that are married, friends that I've seen married, strangers, even culturally, right? Because I talk to
I
other
think
cultures.
that's being
Oh,
selfish. You know what? That's being selfish. I'll tell you why it's being selfish. Is this right? I'm a married man. You think if I like it, being married? No, but it's a duty to
Yes.
my offspring. It's a duty to my community. It's a
No,
duty to the generation to come. You see what I'm saying, right? Let me tell you why it's selfish. Because you're only thinking about you. Your marriage, in fact, existing on this earth, right, is not fun. It's not fun to be single. It's not fun to be married. Nothing is fun. But why it's selfish is because you don't want to be responsible. Responsibility comes with virtue. Virtue is responsibility. Because let me tell you something. If you tarry and you're not married, yes, you are selfish. Period.
Or
if
I'm not
And
responsible.
let me tell you this.
no,
Let me tell you this, okay? Because
if
you
you're
got to
married,
understand
if
this.
you're married and you saying that you're not happy and that you don't enjoy it, that's being selfish.
Yeah,
No,
like that's
You
not
no,
a
you
it's
good
not.
reason to
no
get
no
married.
No,
no
It's
I
you
gotta tell, I gotta,
self-fulfilling.
I gotta
wait
tell you
wait
something, right?
Hold on, y'all.
Do
One
you
mic.
think?
One
No,
mic.
no, no. Let me say something real quick. Do you think that waking up 3 a.m. in the morning to attend to a child when she's crying is fun? No. But guess why it's not selfish?
it's
Because
part of
somebody
being a
did it.
man.
Now you're talking because that's what I was saying earlier. You said it's selfish. No, you don't want him to have that responsibility. It's selfish because guess what? Somebody did it for me. My father did it for me. My mother did it for me. I have to do it for the next generation. My mother died at the age of 52. She struggled for my family every day. She had scars. She died of cancer. You think my mom regretted having those 7 kids? You think she regretted having those children and being married to my father?
My mom did.
But guess what? You do what your mom did. Go and do what your mom did. Go and suffer the way your mom suffered. Because if you don't want to
Oh,
suffer the way your mom suffered, that's called selfish.
that's not how you. Oh man,
Right.
that
All right.
Oh,
No, my
guys,
mom
you
told
guys stop
that
this
ain't
me.
how you
fairy
do it.
tale, please. Stop
My
this fairy tale,
mom
man.
That
my
ain't how you
mom
do
told
it, bro.
me to live a better life than she led, and she told me that my mom was very transparent with me, and she had 5 kids, right? She hated them. I mean, she loved us naturally, right? Because we were her children. But she had her first child at 26. She had her last child at 34. She also had a miscarriage. She told all of us like don't make the same mistakes I made. And as a parent, I thought you wanted your kids to have a better experience. So yes, my mom wanted me to get married. Yes, my mom wanted me. Oh, my baby's sick. My mom wanted me to have a child, but she also wanted me to do it responsibly. I didn't want to be a baby mama. I didn't want to like have a whole bunch of kids or then get pregnant by a man and then be forced to be married to him to sustain my life or to have a life and then be married for 25 years and be miserable, then get a divorce and then get cancer and die. No, I do not want to live that
So your
life.
mama called y'all mistakes?
Yeah, she called us mistakes. She
God
loved us,
damn.
That's tough.
So
So
but
was she
I
was
That,
she
feel
that,
like
that,
if we
that,
wait, hold
didn't
that's
on.
that's a
raise
Let me
messed
our
up. This is
kids,
messed up,
Let me
man.
say this real fast. I apologize to you because you had a piss poor example of a mother then if she called y'all mistakes.
I
That's a
don't think
goddamn
so.
shame. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah. If
so.
your mother called you a mistake, that's a piss
It
poor
wasn't on
mother.
purpose. It's
If
a
your
mistake.
father called you a mistake, that's a piss poor. No, ain't no children a mistake. The mistake was having sex. That was the mistake. But the birth of a child is never a mistake. That is
I
sad.
don't think that she
I
meant it in
apologize
a
on behalf
negative
of your
way.
parents for telling you that.
she just said like the honest truth. Like, I like honesty, and from her perspective, it was a mistake. She was not planned. She was not prepared. She was not ready to be a mother in that entirety and to get married. That's honesty. I would never say that. Now, my mama made some mistakes. Now, she wasn't perfect. We had to go through therapy to work through some shit. But I think that I just didn't want to have the same life as my mom. So if me not wanting to be married, or knowing if I want to be married, or knowing if I would be a good mother, like, I think about that. Would I be a good parent? Would I be a good mother? Like, what if, like, I think about all of these things, and I don't know if people think about this. Maybe I overthink, but I just don't want to bring a child into this world and make a whole bunch of mistakes, and now they fucked up, and now I done made them be more fucked up and then from my fucked up. And I think about all of those things. So I still stand on, like, if you don't know if you want to be a parent, if you don't know if you want to be married, why do that stuff? Because this man's telling me that he miserable. If I'm gonna be miserable married, I might as well stay single. That doesn't make logical sense. Like, that's why I said I haven't seen good
agree
examples of
100%.
marriage.
Hold on, y'all. Let's
I
let.
love my misery.
Hold on, you can.
I love it.
Hold on.
Hold on, man. So
We're
I
gonna
think
wrap up in about 5 minutes, but let's go ahead and get Viz in there, and let's go ahead and move in so we can close this on out.
so. I 100% agree with what Mila was saying. I also agree with Hink, because there's, regardless if she was being honest or kind of being transparent with it, that is damaging on some level at some point. Now, I think that especially with Ikini was saying, like, that's detrimental to people that want to get married. Life is about struggle, regardless if you're single or married. Regardless, you're going to struggle with something at some point. You're going to have to get up and do something that you don't want to have to do, regardless if you're single or if you're married. People are going into marriage with the wrong concept of what marriage is. Marriage is about love, but it's also an official license, an agreement between two people. This is now a business that we're conducting. We're now conducting business with love. So people are going into marriages not having that in mind, as well as that we're constantly evolving. So we both have to constantly grow, just as with a business. In business, if you want to keep up with the times, you have to continue to grow. So if we're not saying this to people and showing them that there is a beautiful side of marriage, then if all we're getting is people saying that they're miserable and they don't want to wake up to tend to their kids at 3 a.m, man, that's tough, bro. That's
I don't
part
think.
of life.
Excuse me. I gotta cut you off. You didn't. I gotta cut you off. I'm sorry. You didn't hear me right. That is not what I said.
That's
Yeah,
definitely what you said, man.
no, that's not what I said. You misunderstood me. I said that. Do you think people want to wake up 3 a.m. in the morning to attend to a crying baby? But guess what? I have to do it because it's a duty. Somebody did it for me. I have to do it for the next generation. That's what I said. But Babeli, I said it clearly. I put it that way in those sequence that somebody did it for me. I have to do it for the next generation because guess what? It's a duty to do it. Nobody wants to go to work, but everybody want to get paid, right?
I like my career.
Yeah, I love my job. It sounds like you're just doing life wrong, man, and it's not. It's destructive to give that message to people. If you want to be able to live a certain type of life that you want to live, you got to put the work in. Period. You can live. There's people living the most amazing lives ever because they put the work in. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it comes down to. Do I want to get up and at 6 a.m. to go do a job that I love to do? Hell yeah, I do. I'm above ground. I got air in my lungs. Let me go make this shit happen. And that's how everybody should feel. And if you don't, then you're not living right.
My criticism is some of this anti-marriage sentiment. People have a right to it, but I don't see I don't see the same level of pushback for people with the single motherhood sentiment. Okay, that's my issue. If a woman's a single mother, then it's empower her, uplift her, this, that. Okay, that's my issue. So it's okay to sit here and say, oh, well, people want freedom. They don't want to be miserable, et cetera, and so forth. Don't get married. Okay, fine. But like when it comes to having the children, why don't we have the same pushback for that? We don't. Okay, we're enablers, especially in Black American society. We enable the behavior, and we know it's like the root of a lot of our other problems. It has ripple effect across the culture. And then lastly, show me any thriving or prosperous culture or community where single motherhood is the norm. Okay, you can't, and that's just the bottom line. So that's my critique. It's not necessarily about whether you want to be married or not. It's the asymmetrical like critique. So,
But
I
that was
do,
the
I do
topic.
not understand why Vince the post. I got to take an issue with you, Vince the post. I don't understand why you want to make people think that, oh, life is so groovy, that things are so fun. Yes, you guys are happy to go to your job early in the morning. I own businesses, and I run all of them just like I run my own family. I don't work for nobody.
Hey, you can
I
make
own.
kind of choppy. I mean, that choppy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I own businesses, and I don't work for nobody, and it's all stressful, very very stressful. A lot of people answer to me, right? But one thing that I got to say to you is this: you guys should stop painting that life is fun. That life out there is very fun. No, it's not.
Life is
We have
beautiful,
duty
man.
to we have duty for life.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When you start telling people that life is fun because you have a job and you work this job, you go in the morning, you come back at night, you play the music you want, you go out whenever you want. I'm always in the air all the time. I'm on the land all the time. I'm getting phone calls up to 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, and I have to attend to my family, and I have to do this, I have to do that. Guess what? I'm the one that put
It sounds like you need
myself
to hire
into it.
help. All you got to do then is hire
I,
help, bro.
I have people on my payroll, but guess what? They still have to call you. But guess what is going to happen, right?
They don't if you have
Life is fun. Life is fun because you have to make other people's life comfortable as well.
All
But
right.
at the
So
same time,
let me stop
life
you
is
there.
not
Stop you
fun
there.
because
Let
you
me
have
stop you there.
duty.
Let me stop you there. So if you're the head of your company and you have people working underneath you, and people still have to reach out to you at 3 a.m. in the morning, then that means that you have systems that need to fill those spaces in order for you to live that type of lifestyle. So again, it's important that we are aware of the narrative that we're putting out, because you can be the boss and pass off the work so that the only reason you need to call me at 3 a.m. is if there's a dire emergency. Aside from that, call Susan or whoever else. That's how you're supposed to put it together. That's how you play the game.
I gotta tell you one thing, Vince. Vince, I gotta tell you something, right? When you own companies, you understand that it's not everything that Susan is going to handle. There are things that require your immediate attention and your immediate approval. Sometimes people are calling you overseas because your sleeping time is their wake up time. And you have to give an approval for this. Nobody else should give that approval except you.
Well,
And
you got to
if
set up
you,
your system so that somebody else can, man.
you know what,
I hear
there
what
is
you're
nothing I
saying,
can
but
say in this
what
life to
you're saying is
convince you
hey,
because you just don't understand what I'm saying.
do
Eh,
you
eh,
think
eh,
that Jeff Bezos receives a call at 3 a.m.?
And I got to tell you something. There
Answer
is
the
a reason
question.
why I
Answer
will
the
answer you that
question.
question. I will answer you that question. Okay. There is a reason why it's only 8% of the people on this earth own business.
Bro,
The rest of 91%, I'm going to answer you, please. The rest of the 92% don't. You know why? Because people like Jeff Bezos answer calls at 3 a.m. If you remember when Hillary Clinton said to Barack Obama, "Can you answer the call at 3 a.m.?" There is a reason. There is a reason behind. There is something strong behind that word. Everybody out there that own a business answer calls at 3 a.m. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Jeff Bezos is not going to answer some random person's call at 3 a.m. What I said is that
Why would I be a businessman? Why would I be a businessman answering random person's call at 3 a.m.? Why would I do that? I'm not going to answer a random person's call. I'm going to answer a call of somebody that has to do with my money and my business and my investments. That's how I answer calls at 3 a.m.
So we're using Jeff Bezos as an example, right? Jeff
Well,
Bezos has millions.
me or Jeff Bezos will not answer call at 3 a.m. from random person. That's what I'm trying to clarify to you, okay?
What I'm saying is that the only reason why a person would call Jeff Bezos at 3 a.m. is if it's extremely important.
All right, so we got
extremely important calls
That's a
come at
big
3 a.m.
maybe.
Extremely important calls come at 3 a.m. And extremely important people have to call me at 3 a.m. And extremely important calls I will receive at 3 a.m. If somebody calls me at 3 a.m. that I don't know, I'll block that person's number.
Well,
But you sound like you miserable and mad because we not.
Yeah, like why
BBL.
you chose this life? You making it seem like somebody held a gun to your head and said, "Do this life, bro." No, I'm sorry. Your whole story been sounding so goddamn miserable. Like you have not convinced me to be a business owner.
No, you don't have to be. Don't be a business
I
owner.
mean, you just
Don't do
basically
any of
said,
those.
"I'm supposed to be here
It's only
and serve everybody else until I die." You just basically said life is miserable. That's what you just told me.
there is a reason why only 8% of people own business and 92 don't.
But
Because it's really because
but the smart thing you said you're not gonna get married based on what the example that your parents set for you, right? And you said that your parents
said that I don't know if I want to be married. See, y'all taking what I said out of context. I said I do not know. That is I don't know. I never said I did it, and I never said I did. I said I do not know. If I meet a man and I'm like, wow, okay, I would love to be married, take his last name. Yes, I would want to have one child. But at this point in my life, I don't know. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, I'm okay with that too. I'm just in a place of living life. And whatever's meant for me will happen. I'm not chasing anything. I'm not putting unnecessary pressures on myself. I'm not stressing on this timeline. I'm not in these gender debates. Am I high value enough? Am I classy enough? Am I this enough? I'm just living life. And however it unfolds for me, it will unfold. I don't want to live a life where I'm stressed and I'm worried. I just can't do that anymore. And so I wanted to have a child for my mom. Like I really did. But now also that my mom's passed, I'm thinking about like, damn, I'm going to be here by myself. I don't have family. My sister passed. My brothers are away at Greece. My daddy's 75. My aunties are 80. Like my family's very small. So when I think about things, I think about like, who would I have to support me? I think about all those things. That's why I don't have a child. I wanted to give my mama a child. She's been begging me for a child since I was 21 years old. But I wasn't married. I don't want to be a baby mama. I don't want to be a single parent. So I think that as a 33-year-old woman, I've made very responsible decisions is what I've done. I've been very responsible. I didn't want to be a statistic. I went to college. Moved to a city by myself. I've lived life. I travel. I live life. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If I'm meant to be married, I will. But I'm not gonna go around and be miserable or say I should need it or beg men or do all of these things. Like if a man want to marry me and he find value in me, he'll marry me. If not, I have to find value in loving myself, and that's just what I've been doing on my journey.
Man, let me. I think you did right. Well, I see you have a dog. I encourage you to get a Chewy account. I encourage you to invest into PetSmart or Feeder Supply because that's exactly what's going to go down with you, man. Right on. I agree with you.
I do got a Chewy account, and I invest in PetSmart already. But thank you so much for your great advice.
Oh, go ahead, Shannon. Hold on. Let's just Shannon again now. We got to close that after this.
Okay, so I was listening to you guys while I was driving around the corner for something. But what's the guy's name? You know, I can't even see because my eyes. The guy who was talking with the accent. I hear what you're saying, and I somewhat agree. I just don't think your delivery is right. So it's real tricky if we don't point out that it is tough. Motherhood is tough, right? But the reward is the sacrifice and the reward is so much greater than the tough times. It's not easy. Motherhood is not. If it's easy, you're not doing it right. And parenthood is not easy. So let's just be honest about that. But it's very rewarding. As far as the young lady not wanting to be a mother, you cannot let anybody punk you into being a mom. We see that what's happening today when people become moms and they don't want to be moms, what ends up happening to the kids. So if she says she is not ready for motherhood, she is just not ready. Let it be. We cannot influence her, and we don't want to try to influence her to take on a responsibility that she says she's not ready for. Because the only person who misses out in that situation is the child. Because she's going to start that responsibility may be too heavy because she didn't want to do it in the first place, and it just goes left. Same thing with marriage. If she's not ready to have a husband, why would you want her to think about the husband? Is that fair for him? Like, let's stop pushing people in situations they don't want to be in. Okay.
But she's
that's what I wanted to say about that. As far as the young men here, I do think that people are starting to preach against single motherhood, but I wish that they would emphasize, safe sex or premarital sex, not having those things. Because at that point, if she's pregnant, what's next? If you're sitting here talking about BBLs take lives, so does abortion. People die. Some people die having abortions. So if surgery is an issue because of life, then we have to also include that. So if you want to tackle single motherhood, how you tackle it, preach keeping your legs closed before marriage. Preach if you have to do it because you gotta, protecting yourself. The kids are already there. If it happens, it's two people that tangle to make a child happen. It's just the weight of it all falls on her because she's the person who has taken on the responsibility. But they were both involved. It wasn't just her. It was two people because the egg can't do nothing without a sperm entering the egg. Okay. So I think that that's important for us to do. Get back to, understanding that our purity or you just shouldn't be just out here having sex with people. You should definitely do preventative instead of Rachel. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Shannon, let me tell you something. I'm sorry, Shannon. I don't care about delivery. You know why? No matter how you deliver it to people, they're always going to have issue. You deliver a soft, they're going to have issue. You deliver a moderate, they're going to have issue. You raise your voice, they're going to have issue. So the detriment is not for me. It's you that choose not to receive it. That's the detriment. So I have seen people that have been attacked for just saying something. It's not because of the way the delivery comes. It's just the fact that you say it. That's what they have issue with. They don't have issue with your delivery. They have issue with what you're saying.
Like you did, Mila?
If I wanna respond to that, I gotta say this to you, Cookie. Life is not about me or Mila. Mila can choose how she wants to live her life. I won't tell Mila to get married because she might resent it. She can choose to marry whenever. Let me finish. Let me finish talking, please.
I don't have to let
She can choose. She can choose whenever she wants. She can choose to get married at the age of 50. She can choose to get married at the age of 20. Whatever she wants to choose, let her choose it. But guess what? She will complain at the age of 20. She will still complain at the age of 50. It's up to her. So if she then doesn't get married tomorrow, she can't come back and say all men ain't shit. She's gonna only say that Miller ain't shit. That's
So
it.
I'm marrying
As long
myself.
as she can.
I'm marrying myself.
Yeah,
Who am I
but
marrying?
then,
Because y'all
but
acting
then,
like I'm supposed to
but
be
but guess
like I'm
what?
marrying myself. Like
But
men don't gotta
tomorrow,
choose.
don't say no. Men don't choose you. You have to give a man reason to choose you. I'm not gonna choose.
I don't
So
date no
nobody
man.
should choose you. No, you gotta have to be responsible. You gotta have to act right. You have to show a man that you're a woman ready to contribute yourself as a woman to the family, to his whatever he has going on. You have to give a man a reason to be in his business. Then a man can marry you. I can't just go out there and employ somebody just because they have a degree. No, you have to demonstrate to me why I should hire you. Then I gotta hire you.
So men don't
And
gotta
that goes.
demonstrate why I should hire them. It's only like
Excuse.
what the man
Well,
supposed to do.
men are the one that decide relationship, marriage, not relationship, marriage. They decide marriage. But you have also the right to choose to accept. I'm sorry, to accept the marriage, which means if the man is not a fit for you, you reject him. Just
Exactly.
like when you if somebody hires you and you think that this job is not for you, you don't have to work for him, right? It's the same thing. But you can hire yourself. He has to hire you. A man has to hire a woman.
All
I'm
right.
sorry the way you guys think about it. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. If any man comes out here and try to tell you otherwise, I gotta tell you this. Do not listen to a man that is not being honest with you, because some men out here do not care about your well-being. All they care is how to get between your two legs, and they will tell you any or everything just to get between those legs. But is your problem, is your circumstance, and is your detriment. Listen to those men that will tell you the honest truth, because they have nothing to benefit from you. But those men that have something to get from you will lie to you. They will be dishonest to you because you're not their daughter and you're not their sister and you're not their wife. So they have nothing to do with you. If you're their sister or their daughter, then it's a whole two different thing. No matter how the delivery comes from me, listen.
There you go. Listen, go ahead, VS. You want to respond real quick?
What am I listening to?
I'm I'm gonna just say this to Mila, if I'm saying your name right. It sounds like you aren't opposed to getting married and having children. Uh, and just to put that out to everyone. What I would say is not to close yourself off from it. That that fear of going into those commitments is 100% normal. It's natural. It's a part of life, and it's a part of the journey, right? Especially with you being in the situation that you're in, I think that you should definitely go forth and find that person to, you know what I'm saying, spend your life with. And even to the women in the comments, I think that that's just an experience that we as people should have. We're all gonna become old and gray. Nobody wants to spend their last days alone. You know what I'm saying? Some people do, but I think that the people that do end up doing that is because they're still hurting from something. They're holding on to some type of pain. So to shut yourself off from those experiences that we're able to create and that we were made to have, I think that it's imperative that we do have that, so that we can share that with the next generations to come, so that they can understand the value and importance in it. But getting into something that you're saying that you're miserable in, that doesn't sound like fun. So definitely take your time, but do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's part of life.
I don't want to grow old and alone. Like my dad's 76, right? And he's single as fuck. And I be like, damn, daddy, like you need somebody to take care of you, right? it's that, like they say, like the more you go, you looking for something, you steady searching it, you steady wanting it, you don't get it. And so I'm just in a place now that I'm like, I can't give all of my energy and time and emotion to dating. Like dating in today's world is very challenging for me because I'm not typical. So for me, I found it very challenging. And people want to date me, right? People want to marry me, but if I don't think it's gonna work, I would just rather not waste our times. And I just don't ever want to be in a situation where I have a child with somebody and I feel stuck and trapped. And I think that's what I'm most afraid of, is having a child with the wrong man and then I'm left being a goddamn single mother. That is what I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid of marriage or men or dating or any of this shit. I'm honestly petrified of thinking that this my person and I open myself up, we get married, and then he leave. We get a divorce or we leave and now I'm stuck being a single mother. I cannot be a single mother. I'm not built for that life. I cannot. And so that's what I'm more afraid of, that I won't be a good mother and that I'll end up being a single mother, whether it's from divorce or your person could pass, they could die, like you don't know, like people would
Yeah.
get accidents, people get sicknesses, and I know that's probably like so far fetched for me to think about, but that's a reality. And so that's really what it is.
Moving that bird, huh?
I guess so. And then I'm like, what if I'm not a good mom? Like, I'm like, what if I'm not a good parent? Like,
We're gonna have probably talk about that next Sunday, man.
I'm like, because like, how do you know how to be a parent? You don't know how your kid's gonna turn out. Like,
You just gotta do it. That is just taking that step. That's the only way.
That's a lot of pressure.
No,
It's a lot of pressure.
no
No
risk, no
guarantees in
reward.
life.
Yeah.
Your family
No
is bad.
guarantees in life.
Very unlikely family nasties. The original BBL does mimic natural, not a bug's life mess, man.
Wait, we still talking about BBLs?
No, just a super chat that came through back. Deacon A $2 says, I don't support BBL, don't like it, not for my woman, which he told us today. From all the super chats, want to thank everybody that has contributed to the platform thus far. Is it good, Chamona? It's good? Okay. Is it is it plant-based? No? Okay.
Hell no. She eat a
I'm from
smash
Alabama.
burger. She eat a smash burger. That's what she eat. Don't let her
I'm
lie.
ordering some food, honey. I'm gonna go show you a plate.
That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to the women. I want to thank everybody. Cookie, I appreciate you hanging out. I know it's been long and we went overtime. Please don't call HR on me. I don't want to be in that office. Mila, I want to thank you as well. I know there's only supposed to be an hour and a half and it wound up being longer, but it's like you enjoyed it. So
she ain't got nothing better. She ain't got no goddamn life, JR. She needs somebody to talk to.
This was my rest day. This my rest day. I just came back from a trip. This was my rest day.
okay. Well, thank you. His name was Tedros. Thank you for coming up. Ikene, thank you for coming up. Viz, much love, brother. Hink, love as always. Sham Monet, thank you for always coming through and 10 toes down. And JR, thank you as well.
Right on. Thank you, JR, for having us.
It's JR.
Thank you for having us, JR.
That being said, that like button, I'm make sure you subscribe to the channel. Happy Sunday, everybody. Y'all watching the playoffs? Any basketball fans?
Oh, playoffs? Who's playoffs? Oh, I saw last night. I saw Denver versus I think it was LA.
Yeah.
We know it ain't the Hawks, Shane. I know it.
Well, we know it's not the Hawks.
Yeah, we know it ain't the Hawks.
Yeah, I'm a LA fan, man. I'm disappointed, bro. But that's
They
okay.
lost.
They lost by almost 10 points.
I saw it.
You see who playing right now? The Mavericks playing.
Mavericks playing right now. 2:30. They started at 2:30.
Yeah,
they playing who?
The Clippers.
The Clippers.
You're a Houston Rockets fan, Cookie.
I'm hearing that.
I'm a Mavericks fan.
No, Mavericks is my second team after Lakers. Because I live in Dallas. So I gotta be the Mavericks.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a Kyrie Irving fan.
Okay, so
Keep it
like,
every time. You have all these guys
One, wherever Kyrie Irving is.
Well, who
I
does he
live
play
in
for?
Dallas.
Huh?
Who does he play for?
The Mavericks right now.
you said right now,
The
the cookie.
Vince, would you,
Clippers.
Huh?
Vince the post. We just talking. Okay.
All right, so this is the score.
Right now.
This is the score right here. That's what we had.
Can't see it.
Oh damn, they're beating Mavericks
no.
by shit, like 26
Oh,
points,
no.
and it's
Yeah,
halftime.
it's 56-30 Clippers.
I can't see it. Somebody read it.
I just said it.
56 Clippers.
It's 56-30 Clippers. Clippers are winning.
Yeah, and it's halftime.
Yeah, and if you look at the bottom right there, the Heat lost to the Celtics 94-114. So the Pacers and the Bucks play today, and the Pelicans and Thunder play today. So
Yeah, that ought to be a good game.
Oh, I'm about to
That
turn my
Milwaukee,
TV on to
that Milwaukee
basketball.
Pacers ought to be a good game.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here.
Luka.
Appreciate
Sorry.
everybody again. Go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe.